looking to
problems is the ice and then the warm and the thaw and then the snow and then the ice and the thaw and the warm, and that's exactly what we go through every single winter. To keep your basement or crawl space from extensive damage, of course, insulate water pipes to prevent freezing and bursting, seal leaks and crevices to prevent further cracking and leaking, ensure that your gutters and downspouts are clean, maintain your sump pump system or add a backup battery to keep your home dry. All of these things from the basement and foundation professionals, and all of these things that we can help you with. Also, crawl space venting used to be a big thing. Turns out it's a very bad thing for your home. Find out how and why from the experts at Foundation Recovery Systems. Mention me for $500 off of any project that you have us do. FoundationRecoverySystems.com.
Facts presented fairly. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Stream the station anytime at 971talk.com. or download the app for your phone at radio.com. The Annie Fry Show is sponsored by Forensic IT, the tech experts that find the root cause of your technical problems. ForensicIT.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
You need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
For goodness sake, kid, keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
You ever have those days where you walk into work and you just feel really unprepared? Me neither. No. Me neither. Welcome to the Annie Fry Show. This is the Annie Fry Show, right? Did I walk into the right room?
Yes, we're here.
Brian, hi.
Hello.
Yeah, the Glover room's next door.
Oh gosh. I could have tried to sneak in there and sabotage something other than my own very show here today. Happy Thursday. I'm just going to be completely honest with you. I'm watching this impeachment thing. I can't stomach it. I can't handle it anymore. It's pretty clear to me that this is I'm going to say a character assassination of Donald Trump via impeachment. I mean, they were showing video from the storming of the Michigan state capitol when you had people going in there with weapons of sorts and going after Governor Whitmer. And they're tying all of this together to explain how January 6th was only the cause of President Trump, intertwining it with everything he's ever said. I mean, all Donald Trump has ever done is speak in fighting words. That's how he won the election. That's how he got here. And it's never been savory. It's never been something, well, I'm not going to say that nobody likes that about him. People like that he would fight. People liked that he was willing to go toe to toe. And I've said this for a very long time. Donald Trump was the first Republican in my lifetime that was willing to go out onto the parking lot at recess, look the bully square in the eyes and punch him in the nose to make him stop. It's not something that you want to send, when your kid comes home and says, man, Johnny went and smoked Billy in the face today. And when you're the parent and Billy has been picking on your kid for the entirety of the time they've been in school, you're secretly going, I hope he learned his lesson. But you're telling your kid, you do not go punch anybody in the nose. It's kind of a life lesson. I don't know that we learn those life lessons anymore. When you look at how the president how he came on the scene, how he marched toward being the candidate in 2016 and winning the primaries and winning the delegates there to become the candidate who eventually defeated Hillary Clinton, which is still news to her. He didn't do it in a Mitt Romney, Ronald Reagan-esque kind of way. It wasn't soft and cushy and fluffy. If Republicans want to go back to that, I'm all for it, except for the fact that that's probably the number one way to guarantee that Democrats are in control for the rest of my life. You know why? Because Democrats are never held to being fluffy and cushy and soft. They're not held nobody takes out the Mary Poppins morality tape measure and sees how big and tall and strong the Democrats are, practically perfect in every way. That's what it always says every time, but it's a completely different measuring stick than the Republicans have to stand up to. We have a Republican who comes and beats them on their own field with their own rules. And of course it's unsavory. It's been unsavory the whole time. We've just been so sick and tired of losing. And you fear that what you're going to lose is going to be your country. All you have to do is look at what the Biden administration is doing right now. Do you know what the Biden administration is doing today? You probably don't. You know why? Because we're talking about impeachment. I don't think that that's a coincidence. I'm watching as they're playing more clips and more videos, and here comes marching in the good people on both sides tape. And I almost flipped over the table in my studio, which would require superhuman strength that is not, suggested for a pregnant woman to endeavor through. You've got to be kidding me right now. The explanation was when they played the tape, they played it edited, and they played him saying that there are good people on both sides. And this is something that has been a bit of a soapbox for this show here in particular. That's not what he said. The president never called white supremacists good people. He didn't do it. It's not factual. If you believe that, you've been lied to and suckered. I'm just tired of it. And it's hard for me to, we're going to hear from the Trump defense team coming up. David Schoen is supposed to be, taking the podium? What do they take? Not the stand. I mean, don't you wish that they could have objections? I object. That's ridiculous. I object. I object to the whole stinking thing. It's so clear to me when they're walking through this entire process, they're trying to prove to America, you're the jury here, folks. You are the jury. 44 people have already voted that this is unconstitutional. It would be shocking to me if any of those 44 people were like, we don't believe that this is a constitutional process. But in light of what we've just heard, we're also going to convict the president in this unconstitutional process. That would be the stupidest thing I've ever heard. So I don't see that actually happening. The hypocrisy is head spinning. Here's a story. And I don't know, Ryan, your twins are how old?
6.
Okay. So they're kind of getting there. My oldest is 11. My middle is 8. My youngest is 4. Got one on the way in June. And they're playing I Spy. Do you guys ever play I Spy?
For sure.
You and David?
Yeah, I don't think I've played it with my kids, but we used to as kids.
It's something my mom plays with the kids all the time. It's a great time. It's a great grandparent game, Like your grandkids are like, let's go run around in the yard and play baseball. And then after that, we'll play tackle football. You're like, let's play I Spy while we sit here and talk about colors. Yes, exactly. I get it, Mom. I get it. It's genius. I've written it down for when I'm in my 60s and trying to not have to get up and run around too. So my kids are playing I Spy in the car yesterday after I pick them up from school. And if you watch the Facebook Live or the YouTube Live, I was wearing a red, kind of like a track jacket yesterday, bright red, white stripes down the side. This is important to the story, I promise. And as we're driving through town, coming home from school, they're playing I Spy, and I'm gonna protect my children to not throw under the bus the kid who did this. But one of them was the person who had said, I see something red and white, I think, and the kids are like, mommy's jacket. And she's like, no. And then they guess some other things. And then they try mommy's jacket again. It's mommy's coat. And she's like, no. And they're like, okay, fine. We give up. And she goes, it's the reflection of mommy's coat. And I'm in the front and I'm like, what? Like, I didn't say anything. My kids don't know that I'm listening to this. And the child who said, it's the reflection of mommy's coat was like, nope, you can clearly see the reflection in the window of the car. It's not mommy's coat. It's mommy's reflection of her coat. And eventually the other two were like, okay, I'll buy it. And I just thought, no, that's the stupidest thing ever. And so I'm driving and I'm listening to them. I think COVID has done this. I think staying at home with my kids for so long has made me be like, you're going to need to sort this out. You don't want me to bring justice into this room right now, because my level of justice is probably going to be overkill at this point. So why don't you do yourself and me a favor and go figure this out on your own? So I'm sitting up there and I'm listening to this, and with just such assuredness, the reflection of mommy's coat. And I thought, this is exactly what the media and the pundits are doing to America right now. Everyone's like, obviously you're talking about mommy's coat right now. And they're like, no, you are wrong. And here is why you are wrong. And then they tell you something that is the embodiment of the truth, but from a different angle that benefits them, that makes them the winner, that makes you the loser. And at the end, half of us are like, well, this seems kind of ridiculous, but I'm just sick of arguing about it. The contortion of the truth is killing us as a country. And it's only done to make winners and to make losers. And when you're watching the news, if you're like me and you don't have a choice, I know a lot of you do have a choice. And for those of you who understand that you have a choice and you still choose to listen to us for 3 hours a day or 15 minutes a day at your lunchtime, wherever you do, I cannot tell you, especially this day, this moment in time, how grateful I am for you for sticking with us. But we got to stop paying attention to people who go, no, it's the reflection of mommy's coat, and make you feel like you were stupid for thinking it was what was obviously right there in front of you the entire time. It's smart to do it that way. If you're trying to win a game, I get it. My children are young. They live to annoy one another. They do a really good job at it. They're very experienced. But in the mainstream, where we, as American citizens, taxpayers, voters, constituents, people who want to go to work, provide for our families, and leave everybody else alone and be left alone, we are so sick and tired of people telling us that what we see right in front of our eyes is wrong, implying in many cases that we're crazy for considering what is right in front of our eyes is obvious to us, suggesting it, and then being told that there's this nuanced part that actually makes it seem as though we should have thought of that all along. And the bottom line here is all to score political points. That's all it is. It's all about the next election. This entire impeachment process that we are watching right now is to make sure that anybody who had any question about who Donald Trump is, like, who are those three people? Anybody who has any question about what the Republican Party has willfully stood for the last 4 years, you need to know who these people are. And if you're a part of it, listen to Mika Brzezinski yesterday. You are unpatriotic if you don't support the impeachment of this president. Who died and made Mika queen? I don't care what Mika Brzezinski has to say, but the fact that they can go out there and say this type of stuff that disenfranchises half of the American people on a daily, if not minutely basis, makes people like you and me, regardless of whether you're on the far right, you're in the moderate left, you're right in the middle, you feel politically homeless, whatever it is that you are, you're smart enough to look at this and go, this seems really, really out of control and out of hand. And I don't have any place that I can go right now and trust that's what's being presented to me is not filtered and laundered in a back boardroom somewhere. Listen to some of the CNN Zucker tapes about how things are going to be presented, how things are not going to be presented, what things are not going to be presented. I'm an opinion show. I'm not here to bring you, I don't do news reports all day. We talk about fun things. We talk about important things. We talk about everything in between. I choose what we talk about here. Sometimes I do a good job of that. Sometimes I don't. I've never been told what I can or can't say. But when it comes down to you playing the game, seeing the red and white coat, and everybody looking at you goes, it's not that, it's the reflection of the coat. and you feel crazy for doing it, don't feel crazy. Know what they're doing for you, and don't give them that political point that they're trying to score on you to either make you convert or, even worse, give up. With Trump, without Trump going forward, he's not going to get convicted here. It's not going to happen. If you're watching this, and I'm pretty sure most of you aren't, this is a tough pill to swallow. It's a slap in the face, because we all know the hypocrisy here. I'm not going to defend any of the things that Donald Trump is being shown here to have said or to have done or to have tweeted, but I'm going to tell you that I can go toe-to-toe with Democrats who have said things that are just as inflammatory and just as awful as the things Donald Trump has said over the course of time. Donald Trump is a product of our environment. We created this Frankenstein. We engineered him with the depravity of the culture that we're living in today. And I think that the last 4 years with Donald Trump have been infinitely better than they ever would have been with Hillary Clinton. That's just clear to me. Maybe it is to you, maybe it isn't. Stick around. We're going to listen into the Trump defense team a little bit here when they come on. We've got Tyrus and Kevin Wheeler, but kind of an open show today as well. So if you want to weigh in, if you want to react to this, if you're sick and tired of being told it's not the code, it's the reflection of the code, 314-241-9797. We'll be back in just a minute.
The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Talk lines are open now at 314-241-9797 or 866-455-9797.
Hey guys, Glover here. If you are nearing retirement or already retired, call Thomas Helbig with the Retirement Advisory Group at 314-993-9494. He'll show you how to participate in the market gains without ever losing a penny. Thomas is the official financial advisor of the DGS.
The Med Spa at the Institute of Natural Health understands how difficult it is to maintain healthy skin and how much this can affect someone's life. With the right combination of treatments and products, they can help you keep your skin looking healthy and more youthful, while also reducing and preventing damage. Take your first step towards healthy skin at the Med Spa at the Institute of Natural Health. Visit them at inhstl.com or call to schedule at 314-293-8123. That's 314-293-8123.
When you're looking to list your house because you have to move because you know that now the market is so hot. I mean, people are legit, like a house makes the listings. People have notifications set. If there's a 4-bedroom in this area, I'm going to get alerted to this. People are putting in offers at and above asking price on day one of a house going on the market. It is intensely fierce at this point in time. If you're considering listing your house, you want to list it with the Manchin team. They have the absolute best staff, the best process, a tried and true method of making sure that your home is showcased with its absolute best features up front, getting the absolute top dollar when the time comes to sell it. They also have people willing to buy houses who are just looking for your home right now. So call them at 636-537-8288. That's 636-537-8288. Give them a call and tell them you're interested in listing and mention the Annie Fry Show when you do. It's the Manchin team. They are the #1 agents for Berkshire Hathaway Alliance Real Estate since 2005. They ranked the top 5 in all of St. Louis out of 14,000 agents with over 60 years of experience between Christy and JT. Find them online right now at themanchinteam.com.
What's Valentine's Day all about anyway? This year, whether it's a new crush or your soulmate, make it about love. Give a gift of fine jewelry that can be personalized just for her. Why not engrave the date you met on a 14-karat gold heart? Or give her a gorgeous pendant necklace with her birthstone or a color she loves. Shane Company's natural sapphires have exceptional vibrancy, and we have over a dozen colors. Or build her a necklace of meaningful charms, an engravable gold disc, a diamond-accented letter charm, and a gemstone charm in her favorite color. It's a love letter she can wear every day. No matter your price range, we'll help you personalize any gift. On February 14th, your thoughtful gift will touch her heart. Now you have a friend in the jewelry business. Shane Company and shaneco.com.
Hey, this is JJ Redick. You all know our podcast, The Old Man and the Three, covers everything there is to know about the NBA and the stars that shape the game. But we also dig deeper. And a big part of that is our leadership series, where we interview some of the biggest names in business, entertainment, and politics. Recently, we had former CEO and current chairman of Disney, Bob Iger, join the show.
Listen very carefully, not only to what others say, because everybody gets that, listen to others, but listen to what you're saying and what you're doing. That's rarely done. How am I communicating not just leadership, but orders to people? How am I telling people what to do? How am I soliciting their opinion? And when I do, am I communicating in a very authentic way that I really want to hear it?
Subscribe and listen to The Old Man and the Three with me, JJ Redick, my good friend Tommy Alter. You can find it on Apple Podcasts, radio.com, and anywhere you get your shows.
Small business owners don't have the patience for nonsense, especially when it comes to their internet provider. They want the best services for the best price. Simply put, that's Spectrum Business. They give you great value, zero nonsense. Just call 833-919-2121. You'll get fast, reliable internet and phone with no contracts and no hidden fees. All for a price that could cut your bill in half. Spectrum Business. Call today, 833-919-2121.
Free speech has a home.
And we're seeing the ramifications of that.
It's on the radio.
This is where we are at, and we've been here for a while.
And you make it possible. Listen to 97.1 online with the radio.com app, or keep it locked right here.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Thanks for spending some of your Thursday with us. It's exciting to have you here. I want to remind you that you can watch us on our YouTube channel. Just go to Annie Fry on YouTube, and you'll see that we're live, and you can comment along. If you're on your lunch break right now, take us back to the office with you. We would love to keep you company, and we would enjoy yours as well. Got some phone calls here. People want to talk kind of the reaction to the impeachment that's taking place. I'm curious if you're paying attention to it. Are you consumed by every movement in every moment, everything that they're presenting here? Have you been moved at all by what you've seen, one direction or the other? Katie, you said you haven't paid a whole lot of attention to this at this point yet.
Nope, not today. I have not watched even 1 minute of it. And I think it's because everything that's going to be told today was what was told yesterday by the same people, only in a different way. I'm interested to see what Trump's legal team brings to the table, because I think that they did a horrible job the first time around. So I want to see if they stepped up their game or not. But everything I feel like that we're seeing today is exactly what I saw yesterday.
Ryan, have you watched a lot of it?
No, not at all. I don't think the impeachment itself is what I'm concerned about. I'm concerned more about this broader narrative that we are never, maybe for our lifetimes, never going to stop hearing about January 6th, about how Republicans are evil and violent, and they're going to use it over and over and over.
Will January 6th live on with that type of volume in our future because people are worried about January 6th, or is it because somebody feels it's politically expedient to talk about it?
Yeah, option number 2, for sure, and for a long time.
Is it weird to compare? I mean, this is the easy comparison, and this is the whataboutism that I'm just perpetually annoyed with, because it just makes us all suck when we can go back, toe to toe, like I said before, back and forth in perpetuity about how awful Republicans are about this. And I can say, well, look how awful Democrats are. They can go, well, look how awful Republicans are. Like, that doesn't end. There's no end in sight for that. And there's no effort for there to be an end. People want to make sure that they strike while the iron is hot. All you have to do is time your big blow right before an election. That's all you got to do. You don't have to be virtuous. There is no, like, somebody, I think it was Geraldo tweeted today something about how Democrats ceded some of the moral high ground on the issue of what took place on January 6th because they didn't push back on last summer's riots. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, with all due respect, Geraldo, nobody is fighting on high moral ground here. There isn't a fight taking place there. If you would like to social distance, find the moral high ground. You will be very, very socially distant from people around you. You probably only have to wear one mask at the time while you're on the moral high ground because there's nobody else there on these political fights. It doesn't exist. But when you're looking at the comparisons that people often draw between January 6th and what took place last summer and what has taken place before that, I mean, I understand the comparisons, but to what end? As long as you have, like I said, the dizzying blow to land right before the election happens with enough impact to win, that's all they care about. It really is. That's all that really matters. We've got some phone calls here. 314-241-9797. Katie, why don't you pick a caller here and put them on, and we'll follow your lead.
We're going to go with Jeff.
Hi, Jeff. Thanks for calling the Annie Fry Show. Good to have you here.
How you guys doing?
Doing okay. How are you?
Well, I'm not bad. One of the things that kind of has me a little perplexed is, they say that Trump wasn't protecting the Constitution and wasn't standing up for the Constitution. My opinion is if the founding fathers were around today and they've seen the way the government does its people, and if they had even a hint of some kind of voter fraud going on, they would march. They would march on the Capitol. They would condone it. I think killing somebody is not. That should never have happened. But it seems funny that there was a storm of coincidences that started happening like a year before the election started coming up. And if there was voter fraud, if there wasn't voter fraud, then why is there such a push to stop the voices of asking about it? That's my whole thing with it.
I understand, Jeff. Thanks for the call. I appreciate it. When when Hillary Clinton said, under no circumstances should Joe Biden concede the election, when she said that, it spurred some conversations, questions to Donald Trump, like, will you accept the results of this election? And we've heard him say many times, like, I'll have to wait and see what happens. What Hillary Clinton said is the exact same thing, maybe even worse than what Donald Trump was saying about accepting the results of the election. I've heard in the last 24 hours clips of Stacey Abrams when she lost the gubernatorial race in Georgia saying she doesn't concede the election. She did not lose. It was stolen from her. There was massive voter fraud. Like, you could take her speech, and it's like the Bruce Springsteen ad who was arrested for DUI. It's just like really unfortunate timing there for that story to happen.
Irony.
If you wanted the Jeep ad to come down, you got your wish. But when you listen to how Stacey Abrams gives her explanation, if you took her exact words and put them in Donald Trump's mouth, they would be playing that clip today on Capitol Hill in front of the Senate to try to impeach him. There's a clear double standard. As to the Bruce Springsteen point, I think if you would have had a micro, who I'm like all in for micro for president right now.
I saw your tweet. You're like, yeah.
I watched him on YouTube do an interview with Steven Crowder. And I'm like, I'm all about it. He's a no BS type of guy. He's conservative libertarian. He is whip smart about how you communicate to people. I just think he could be the guy.
He's not a politician.
Yeah.
Which is really cool.
He's like it's like how I wish Donald Trump would have communicated, but Donald Trump would never have gotten where he was if he didn't communicate the way Donald Trump does. Donald Trump won because he was Donald Trump, and nobody else is going to come in and out Donald Trump. That's not going to happen. But I to Jeff's point there, I do believe that the Democrat, I think there are very few coincidences in politics. I think that there is a lot of contriving that goes on. I mean, go back to when Nancy Pelosi was talking about the wrap-up smear. Remember when she was talking about how, you smear somebody, you put a story out there, and once the story's out, it's out. Ryan, why do you beat your wife? And then we can talk about why you don't beat your wife. But then people will be like, did you hear that conversation about Ryan beating his wife? That's politics. There's no truth involved in that. They don't want truth to be involved in that. If they had truth, they'd lead with that. They don't. So when you go back on the last year and you look at the effort that the Democrats made they did this in 2016 also, you remember, about accepting the results of the election. Because it was so ironic when Hillary Clinton was like, this is a setup, the Russia thing, which we know from FBI documents was a contrived story I think it was John Ratcliffe as the DNI was showing the documents about where the FBI alerted the Obama administration that Hillary Clinton was trying to spin a story about Donald Trump and Russia collusion to evade attention from her email scandal. Okay. That one lasted 3.5 years, and they're still using, Russia-esque type of arguments in Donald Trump's second impeachment trial, and he's not even in office right now. Okay, got it. Let's get to another call here real quick. Katie, go ahead.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Phil?
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk to Phil.
Yep.
Phil, thanks for calling the show.
Hey, thanks for taking my call, Annie.
Sure.
So you have to go no farther than to look at the leadership. Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer. You can look on the Republican side too, whether it's McConnell, whoever. These people are fakes, frauds, and liars. It goes back to what you're saying about the red jacket. That's exactly what they're doing. Twist the truth, twist it till it comes out to where it makes them look good and you look like a complete fool when the truth has been twisted so much that it's a lie. So you have to look no farther than leadership, these politicians that Americans elect. So I put it on the square at the feet of Americans. You elect these people. You see what they do. You see what they say, and you continue to elect them term after term after term.
Yeah.
It's disgusting. It is literally disgusting. Myself, most of the people I associate with, we are so fed up with the way this country's run. We're done. We're sick of it. I'm not saying we won't vote, but when you see what's happened over this election cycle, it really is disheartening. I'm not going to stop voting, and most people I know are not going to stop voting, but it brings to question when you step in that booth, does this really matter?
It
And
institutionalizes
that's disgusting. That's not America.
an elite class of government, and that has been, and it is on both sides. Did you just compare my children to Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer? Is that what I'm taking away from this, Phil?
Are they Americans?
It was a red jacket, at least. Thanks for the call, Phil.
Yeah. Well, and hey, one more thing.
Yeah.
Part of the remedy is what you're doing right now is telling the American people, those of us smart enough to listen, what you're doing is the remedy. Rush Limbaugh is the remedy. Can you get enough people to listen to you? Can you get these Kool-Aid drinkers? They won't even turn your show on and listen. I don't know. But what you're doing is the remedy. Keep at it.
I appreciate that, Phil. Tell your friends. I take what Phil just said there. That's a very kind thing to say. Specifically, let me not, I don't want to over dramatize this for my own personal gain, but I'm fully aware of what's going on with Rush Limbaugh right now. And it is really sad. Bo Snerdley is his producer, and we follow each other on Facebook, and I've had a few private conversations with him over the years. And, when he followed me, I texted our program director, and I was like, just to be very clear about how nerdy I am, Bo Snerdley might be the coolest follow I have on Twitter. And he confirmed that I was, in fact, incredibly nerdy when I told him that. But I know what Rush Limbaugh has done for the country, for the voice of conservatism. I grew up with that KMOX sound in every kitchen that I walked into, every family member. It just was on. And so I've known Rush, and I've talked about this before, and I'm not shy about it at all. I know that you have the choice to listen to me or to listen to Rush. And anytime my name gets stitched into the same sentence as his, it is like makes me want to fall off my chair. I also know that this business is incredibly fickle. I know that my days here could be incredibly numbered. I know that I could have a long storied career. I don't know what's going to happen. But I do know that one of the main reasons why I do have the opportunity to be here, albeit opposite of the Rush Limbaugh show, is because of Rush. And when I hear the stories about where his health is going, and I know because I follow Bo Snerdley on Twitter, he tweets from time to time about, is Rush going to be in or not? I'm praying hard for Rush because of where he's taken us, where he's gotten us, and where I still want him to go. And I hope that you do too. When people talk about the two of us in the same sentence, it is, I appreciate what Phil says. I feel as though it is drastically unfair to Rush in all fairness, but I am grateful for it. And the other thing is, to add to that, what makes what I'm doing important here is not me. It's actually you. When you're listening to this, if you feel like you have a home here, that's the important thing. You're the important thing. You're the part of this relationship that actually makes this possible to continue one day after the next. And without you, I can sit in front of a microphone all day long and talk. Without you, nobody pays me for it and I can't feed my kids. So I'm incredibly grateful for you, especially in a time like this where when I walk into a show, I don't want to talk about anything. And I have a feeling that could I go on and on? Could I play for you what they're saying on the House or on the Senate floor right now? I could, but why would I do that to you? Why would I do that to me, honestly? So we're going to get through it together. But again, I can't do it without you. I am grateful for that. Phil, thank you for the phone call. We'll take some more here when we come back from this break. So if you want to join us, 314-241-9797. I don't know where we go from here, but we're going to have to go there together. Stick around. We'll be right back.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Fry Show.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studio. Air Comfort Service is celebrating 52 years by offering a $52 safety inspection or a $52 diagnostic call. Get in your comfort zone this winter with their heating services. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
You learned all about mesothelioma after the diagnosis. Asbestos exposure on the job. Asbestos from your husband's clothes, in talcum powder, in auto parts. Exposure from 40 years ago. Any of these things can cause mesothelioma, and you may be entitled to compensation even if the employer or product manufacturer is long gone. For 50 years, the law firm of Cooney & Conway has helped families get justice for mesothelioma victims. Go to CooneyConway.com. CooneyConway.com.
So Lakeside Renovation and Design is a storied business here in the St. Louis area that has really grown. They've been in business for over 22 years. They survived through the craziness of the 2008, 2009 time. This COVID situation has been another gigantic challenge. But when I talk to the people at Lakeside Renovation and Design, two things are at the center of what they do. The people who they employ, the Lakeside Renovation and Design family, and you, the people who they serve, and making sure that when they come into your home, they send into your home the very best that St. Louis has to offer for your bathroom remodel, or the very best that St. Louis has to offer for the James Hardy siding installation on your home. That is at the center of what they do. That's why they get out of bed in the morning. That's what they think about when they go to bed at night, about how they can continue to do this for another 22 years and another 22 after that. They have over 100 employees that they go to because they are the experts. They don't pick and choose from, random contractors that they're going to send into your home. And they wouldn't, because they have a lifetime workmanship warranty that goes on top of the manufacturer's warranty with the work that they're going to do inside or outside of your home. So of course it's in their best interest to send the very, very, very best. And they're going to make sure you're satisfied as well. If you're looking for a basement or a bathroom remodel, a kitchen remodel, a deck, room addition, screen room, front or rear porches, or stamped concrete, you can call Lakeside Renovation and Design and get the very best. 636-978-5000. You can visit them online at lakesiderenovationanddesign.com.
Hi, I'm Tom Connors. Went to Mark Patrick's hypnosis seminar February 6, 2019. Nothing worked before. Left there and never smoked again. Amazing. Easy, affordable, and guaranteed. A year later, with my wife Michelle, attended Mark Patrick's weight loss seminar. She lost 18 pounds and I lost 43 in 8 weeks.
It's true. He smoked 2 packs a day and nothing worked until Mark Patrick hypnosis. Now we're losing weight together, eating healthy, full on half the food, crazy, enjoying exercising. Who would have believed Mark Patrick hypnosis really works?
It's amazing. I can breathe again. My blood pressure went down and I've got so much energy.
So much energy.
And look great.
Stop smoking. Lose weight now without cravings, irritability, or your money back. Only $49.99 guaranteed. Join Mark Patrick's hypnosis seminar and lose the weight. Stop smoking or end anxiety because of coronavirus. Seminars now online. Live Thursday, February 11th or Saturday, February 13th for the St. Louis area. Details at markpatrickseminars.com.
Is your credit card debt piling up? Pacific Debt can help. Pacific Debt is the nation's friendliest debt settlement company. With an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau and thousands of 5-star reviews on sites like Trustpilot and Best Company, they can settle your debt for a fraction of what you owe. In fact, they've settled over $300 million, helping people just like you. Get a monthly program payment you can afford and 0 upfront fees. Get free information now. 800-281-9981. 800-281-9981.
When the forgotten poor are in need of healing, they wait for a ship unlike any other. Mercy Ships, a floating hospital staffed by volunteers, heroes of mercy who donate their time to save lives.
Every human has the right to have a place at the table of the human race.
If you could just see the smiles that you get when lives have been changed, then it would make it all worth it.
To learn more about Heroes of Mercy, go to mercyships.org.
Finally, you can buy a pre-owned vehicle worry-free with peace of mind. Motor Trend certified vehicles powered by Bomarito. It's a comprehensive nationwide warranty that covers engine, powertrain, brakes and electrical, AC, suspension, electronics, and more on cars up to 100,000 miles at no extra charge. The best backed pre-owned vehicles in America are Motor Trend certified vehicles powered by Bomarito. Now at every Bomarito location or 24/7 at Bomarito.com.
You can ask your smart speaker to play 97.1 FM Talk for information with perspective. Although you don't have to say all the tagline stuff. Just say, play 97.1 FM Talk. Powered by Dell Technologies. Call 877-ASK-DELL.
Like milling around in the studio there, and she turns around. She's wearing this bright red shirt, and if you watched the YouTube live yesterday, the Facebook live yesterday, it was a special edition because Ryan came to us in black and white. Today he's in full Technicolor, or actually just blue and brown now, but bright, pretty blue. Nice shirt.
Comparatively, I'm wearing a coat of many colors.
Yes. Yeah. It's like when you're watching a show that starts in black and white and then it's like Pleasantville. You remember that? And they come in like now you see one thing that turns to color, but everything else is black and white. That's Ryan today, and his shirt is blue.
That's today. Yeah.
But,
we're making progress. Tomorrow I'm going to have 2 colors.
You need to wear like a clown wig tomorrow just to test your camera. So Katie turns around and all I see, like, there's big white letters on the back of her shirt, but I do see the word beer. What's your shirt say?
Born for beer. That's the back
it's
of my
huge
shirt.
though. It's across the whole back of the shirt.
I'll turn around and I'll let the people looking on the webcam see.
Yeah, so I saw this shirt and I was like, what are you wearing there? Born for beer. It's like, if you want, Katie's like, if there's anything you need to know about me, it's
it.
Born for beer. It reminds me of a funny story. When I started dating my husband, it was at 2004. And we do a big family golf scramble every year as our family reunion on my mother's side of the family. And we all get together and golf, and 4 or 5 of us are good golfers, maybe. Lots of us are good drinkers. I don't think was I legal at in 2004 I was. No, I wasn't. I had to turn 21 in 2005. So I was not drinking then.
Mm-hmm.
And
sure.
My husband worked for the Gateway Grizzlies at the time. He was the sound guy. So when you go to the Gateway Grizzlies game and somebody swings the bat and the bat breaks and it goes flying, he's the guy who very cleverly will play the Batman song. And it's just a wink, wink to the people who are really paying attention at the Gateway Grizzlies to these type of things. So the golf scramble is always in the summer, usually in June-ish. And my now husband, then boyfriend, for probably like 2 months. This is the first time that the entire extended family is in the same place with my new boyfriend. And he and I had known each other for a long time, but he hadn't met the whole family. So he decides to stop by the after dinner, the potluck thing that we have afterwards. And he's wearing this red shirt, and it's got this like old, I'm probably dating it wrong, but it's like a 1920s ad. It looks very, I'm thinking it's Rosie the Riveter-esque kind of looking, but it's this guy, and he looks like, was it Don Draper from
Mad Men?
Mad Men. It's like a Mad Men type of an ad.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy's like holding a beer out, and it just says on the shirt, it just says beer is best.
Yeah.
And so he wears this shirt. And I mean, like, honestly, my husband is not somebody who spends any extra time thinking about fashion. I don't say that as a knock to him. He just doesn't care. And he's come a long way, I'll be honest. But in 2004, he walks up. We're getting ready to say, come Lord Jesus, be our guest, right before we eat the potluck. And he walks up. He's standing there, and he's leaning up against the pole. And I think it's my great aunt. She had dementia at the time. She's since passed. Very sweet lady, but kind of in between of knowing where she is and what she's doing and not. And we get ready to pray. And I think my dad or something was saying a prayer before we said the common table prayer. And there was a pause, and my husband's leaning up against the pole, and this little old lady just goes, beer is best. And my husband's leaning up against the pole like, I don't know any of these people. And he was just like, oh. It was like, welcome to the Schumacher family. You have no idea how welcome you now are.
Oh my gosh, it's great.
Who is that guy with the long hair? I don't know, but his shirt's great.
We love the shirt.
Oh, he had long hair back then too, huh?
Oh yeah. The rule, as if I could make the rules when we were dating, was his hair could never be longer than mine. So and I've had long hair for a long time. So his hair, when I started dating him, his hair was down to his shoulders, I think. And it wasn't, I think he brushed it, but it was a situation where I hope he's not listening right now. This is where he texts me and he's like, I am listening.
There's almost no grass in it, honey.
I remember having to introduce him to conditioner. I'm like, there are things that you have to do.
Yes. Oh yeah.
But the whole point was, and I think a lot of men, especially when you're 22, can relate to this. He needed to get a haircut probably a year before that, and people kept telling him he needed to get a haircut. So what did he do?
Didn't get a haircut.
He did not get a haircut.
Yeah.
And then it kept growing and like I remember his mom being like, well, he doesn't have any tattoos. Like it was like, I'll allow the hair. And I just thought
this one instance of rebellion.
I mean, he it's probably it. No, in fact, it is the most rebellious thing that he's ever done in his life was grow his hair out. It was kind of wavy and curly but I mean, it wasn't ever cut that way. He just let it grow.
This was early 2000s, right? So that was kind of the thing. That was the style.
I don't think he was doing it because it was the style.
No, yeah.
Every single guy
Way too
I'm
much
going to
credit.
say every single guy at some point in their life goes through I'm going to see what it would be like to grow my hair out phase. Sometimes it doesn't last for very long.
Are you in that phase right now?
Does it. Yeah,
Facial hair?
I'm doing that phase right now. See how this is like just starting to sprout again? That's Rogaine right there.
Your facial hair does look thicker, though. So maybe that.
Thank you. I'm not talking about myself right now. Just to clarify,
we're talking
I'm
about
talking
you.
about myself in 9th grade.
Ryan,
if
if we had a client come on to the Annie Fry Show and want to sponsor you with hair regrowth, would you be interested, or are you like, nope, past it, I'm good where I am? Because you have hair, you just have less hair.
Yeah, it depends on what. Here's what it depends on: how much are they willing to pay me? If it's significant enough, I am on board.
That is true.
Prostitution.
True.
Yeah.
For hair.
Look, you can have me from here up for a certain price.
Are you talking about like different body parts that you need to grow hair back? I'm talking about just the forehead region.
Yeah, you can have me from here up. And
you
then
know what I think would be great
for other parts of my body.
What would be great for the product to talk about how it works is they only do the right side of your head.
I would do that.
No.
Yes, I would do that.
Don't sign up for that.
Let's talk to Tyrus about something when we come back. Stay right here. If you do hair replacement, call me. I gotta go.
Yeah.
Everybody wants the economy to grow, right? But how do you feel about officials in effect giving your tax money to developers for their private projects? In the past 15 years, the city of St. Louis alone has diverted $709 million to developers in tax subsidies or abatements. That was money that would have gone to basic services like schools and public safety. Even worse, numerous studies around the country show these kinds of subsidies don't produce the promised jobs and growth. There's nothing wrong with developers wanting to build new shopping centers or company headquarters, but why should they get tax subsidies to do so? If it's a good business idea, great, but let them assume the risks as well as any possible rewards. It's time to reform economic development subsidies in Missouri. Learn more in our 2021 Missouri Blueprint, moving Missouri forward at showmeinstitute.org. The Show Me Minute has been brought to you by Show Me Institute and Show Me Opportunity.
Where are the trouble spaces in your home? The places that collect things, and the collection of things is actually none of it is actually related to each other. It doesn't have a place in your home. You don't know where to put it, so it just goes there all the time. You probably need to give Closet Factory a call. They're coming to my house to help me with a lot of problems. And the more I talk about the custom closets that Closet Factory does, or the home office renovation, the garage storage that's sexist. Anybody, I'm sure, could appreciate garage storage, wall beds, entertainment centers, kids spaces, laundry room, wall units, your wine cellar or your pantry, craft rooms, mud rooms, your home library, any of these locations in your home, if they're causing you trouble, Closet Factory has a solution for you. And I want you to connect with them by calling 314-961-4300. That's 314-961-4300. Go on their website and check out a great Valentine's Day deal they have going right now, closetfactory.com.
You want to retire soon, but everyone keeps telling you to wait until you're 65. After all, that's the age that you qualify for Medicare and you're close to full retirement age. I'm Marvin Mitchell, president of Compass Retirement Solutions. In my new book, Retire Early, The 9 Critical Decisions When Retiring Before 65, I discuss proper planning to help make early retirement possible. When to take Social Security, what to do with your 401k, healthcare, how to maximize retirement income, and much more. Get a complimentary copy of Retire Early by calling 1-800-743-8510. That's 1-800-743-8510. Can you retire early? Call 1-800-743-8510 for your copy of Retire Early, the 9 Critical Decisions When Retiring Before 65.
Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois. Compass Retirement Solutions is not affiliated with the U.S. government or any governmental agency.
KFTK FM Florissant, K254CR St. Louis, driven by the Bommarito Automotive Group, 97.1 FM Talk, a radio.com station.
And
Another graphic day in the U.S. Senate. Lisa Brady, Fox News. More video from the deadly attack on the Capitol being used against the former president, along with remarks from him and his supporters as his Senate trial continues on a charge of incitement of insurrection. Fox's Jared Halpern is live on Capitol Hill.
House managers have detailed public comments from former President Trump they say show support for acts of violence by his supporters.
Bit of a nod. They say the president led them on. No, I don't have to lead you on.
For that reason, lead impeachment manager Jamie Raskin says the Senate should disqualify President Trump from ever holding office again.
So if he gets back into office and it happens again, we'll have no one to blame but ourselves.
The prosecution wraps up its presentation today. Trump's legal team will begin its arguments tomorrow. Lisa.
Thanks, Jared. Defense attorney David Schoen telling Fox News moments ago the tragedy of January 6th has nothing to do with Trump and that he doesn't want to be associated with it, but that he remains upbeat. A different reaction at the White House. Fox's Rachel Sutherland has this live.
Lisa, President Biden watched some of the video evidence presented by impeachment managers yesterday and found it harrowing and deeply disturbing. But White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki says the president is still not weighing in on whether former President Trump should be convicted of inciting the January 6th attack on the Capitol.
He's not on the jury. He's not in the Senate. His role is to be president of the United States.
Earlier in the Oval Office, President Biden said the video evidence may have changed some minds. Lisa?
Thanks, Rachel. The White House says the president did express concern to China's president about a lack of transparency on COVID during a 2-hour phone call yesterday. Then today, he expressed concern to lawmakers about the need to catch up in areas like rail transit during an infrastructure meeting. America is listening to Fox News.
I hired nuptial num-nums to cater my wedding, and it was a disaster. Everyone was raving about the food instead of my dress.
No matter how hard you work for your small business, online reviewers will find something to complain about.
They're like, oh, Veronica, the lamb chops. Did the lamb chops fly you out to Cancun?
And while Progressive can't save you from these trolls, we can help you save money on commercial, auto, and business insurance.
I will not be hiring them for my next wedding.
Get a quote online today at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliated and third-party insurers.
In honor of President's Day, Dell delivers savings to help America's small businesses get more done. Office Anywhere, with up to 50% off high-performance laptops, desktops, and servers with Intel Core processors and top brand electronics. Plus, refresh now with flexible financing options. Call 877-ASK-DELL for a Dell Technologies advisor who can help you find the right tech. That's 877-ASK-DELL or visit Dell.com/President's Day.
Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling weather with Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Mostly cloudy skies with us on this Tuesday afternoon, keeping it cold. 22 for the high tonight. Clouds and cold. 18 Wednesday. Clouds, another little clipper coming by. Light snow, freezing rain, and sleet. Light's the key word. The focus, St. Louis South, 22. Clouds on Thursday, 22. Even colder weather Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. High temperatures in the teens. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Join Mark Patrick's hypnosis seminar and lose the weight. Stop smoking or end anxiety for only $49.99 guaranteed or your money back. Because of coronavirus, seminar now online. Live Thursday, February 11th or Saturday, February 13th for the St. Louis area. Details at markpatrickseminars.com.
Hello, everybody. This is Sean Rimmerman, your host of We're Having a Senior Moment every Saturday at 7 a.m. on 97.1 FM Talk. I also have this company, We're Comfort Care Home Care St. Louis, and we help people live their best lives possible. If you're struggling caring for a senior, if you're a senior who needs some care, give us a call at 314-965-9600 anytime, day or night. Again, 314-965-9600.
So if you're looking to sell your gold, diamonds, jewelry, maybe some precious timepieces that you have, that you've inherited, that you don't even know why you have them, I get that. You need to think about national rarities when you do this. This is not a pawn shop experience at all. If you were thinking, national rarities, I'll just go to the corner pawn shop. That's a completely different experience than when you go to national rarities and deal with a GIA certified buyer a company that is an A+ rating with the BBB, and also with a trustworthy company that is full of experts on your trinket, on your treasure, on the thing that you inherited that has sat in that drawer for long enough, and you'd rather trade it in for the value of it and get a fair price. That's what you get when you go to National Rarities. They're located in West County on the corner of Manchester and Mason, so you can go visit them. You can meet with them in person. They are going to give you a fair price. And like I said, they're not your typical gold buyers. They're not a pawn shop. They're going to sit down, talk to you about your item, and give you a fair value of the worth of what you have. Call National Rarities to make an appointment at 888-787-1112. That's 888-787-1112. Online at nationalrarities.com.
Imagine two identical homes on the same street that sold in the same week for $400,000. One seller used a realtor who charged 7%. The other listed with Straight Realty for only 4%, saving $12,000. Hi, my name is Christina Straight with Straight Realty. Don't be fooled by high commissions. Why pay more than 4? 314-441-4444. 314-441-all-4s.
Straight Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri.
Never paint again with Rhino Shield. The time is now to be proactive about your home or business exterior. Stay ahead of the spring and summer rush. Call today before kids' ball games get rolling, school's out, vacations start. Perfect for aluminum, steel, stucco, hardy sidings, and more. Rhino Shield waterproofs and insulates. Deflects 90% of the sun's UV rays. Comes with a 25-year transferable warranty. Rhino Shield is the only company used by Disney, HGTV's Curb Appeal, and This Old House Shows. Obviously, we do big things. We coat flat and metal roofs to extend their lives. We've got a superior product and a great reputation. As long as it's affordable, why wouldn't you do it? If the intent is to do something in 2020, make the vision perfect with Rhino Shield. Call today, 877-25-RHINO, 877-25-RHINO, or 877-25rhino.com. See what we did there? Genius. Tell them, ladies.
Don't paint, don't Rhino. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Censorship happens elsewhere. This is where St. Louis comes to talk. 97.1 FM Talk. You can stream the station at radio.com anytime or get the free radio.com app for your phone. The Annie Fry Show is sponsored by Forensic IT, the tech experts that find the root cause of your technical problems. ForensicIT.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
Right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, Beth. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Mark Cuban is a billionaire. He owns the Dallas Mavericks, the NBA team. Like other NBA owners, Mark Cuban makes a lot of his money in China. And that's why, according to Mark Cuban, the non-genius billionaire, it's fine for China to commit genocide. They're good customers, says Mark Cuban. But when Mark Cuban hears the United States national anthem, he takes a different position. He's disgusted by it. He wants to take a knee. That's how awful this country is.
So Tucker doing what Tucker does, which is going straight in on Mark Cuban. I think he called him a decadent loser last night. And I have to admit that I laughed out loud. Tucker makes me laugh out loud because you don't know when the albeit childish insults are going to be juxtaposed with what I think is just brilliance right now in the coverage of what's going on in our crazy world. Nonetheless, we haven't really discussed this a whole lot yet, but the Mavericks, Dallas, Mark Cuban saying, we're not going to do the national anthem here. The NBA is stepping in and saying, yeah, we're going to do the national anthem. They played it, I think, for the first time here this week after the NBA came out. It's weird that in February of 2021, we had to stick in the middle of February a national anthem issue. Didn't see that coming. But it's actually, strangely, this is a test of the times. A nice departure from what we're used to talking about all the time. I want to ask Tyrus what he thinks about the national anthem. What's going on?
You're becoming like my most stable relationship.
Enough said.
Tyrus, welcome back to the show. As I said, talking about the national anthem, whether to play it, whether to stand for it, whether to take a knee for it, it's the gift, I guess, that keeps on giving. And in the middle of an impeachment trial, I am looking for other things to talk about. So I was curious what you thought when Mark Cuban came out with this statement that they weren't going to play it, and then the NBA said, no, we will be playing it. What your take is on this?
Well, I think, well, we all know that Mr. Mark Cuban is not afraid of the spotlight or attention seeking. So once again, I'm not. Here's the thing. I think he was trying to avoid a situation. He's stuck between a rock and a hard place. His players are citizens. They have their own political beliefs, and now it is supported to use your platform to support where you're coming from. So the understanding was that a few players were going to be taking knees during the national anthem. So I believe his idea was that there was no national anthem because he lives in Texas, and rumor has it Texas is a tad bit right-leaning. So, stars and stripes go a long way in Texas, as it does all over across the country. But so I think he was trying to save himself the issue of Americans expressing themselves, and of course, there are going to be fans that have issues with that, and there will be sponsors that have issues with that, and there'll be fans that support that. So I think he was trying to avoid it altogether, and it has now become even more of a microscope on it. So, or magnifying glass, I should say. Job well done.
Do you think, because I would like to think, and I guess it's easy from my suburban millennial white life that I live to say this, but I would think that while we hear a lot of people pounding their fists on the table about unity, I would like to think that the flag can be something that does unify us all in a pursuit of some sort of perfection that we're never going to actually achieve, but we should always continue trying. That the flag would be the ultimate symbol of unity. Like, we have our fights. We are a family here. There's a difference between picking on your family and someone picking on somebody in your family. It's not that way anymore. I'm curious what you think about the absence of Donald Trump on the main stage, or anywhere, any stage right now for that matter, and this flag issue. Does it become a unifying thing now that Trump isn't obviously interjected into it as he has been for the last 4 years?
Well, we're finding out very quickly that as much as we've been told that President Trump was the reason for everything that is wrong or is off or you don't like, we're finding out that now that he's literally not just out the picture, he's not tweeting, he's not having press conference, he's literally disappeared. The problems are the same. So we're seeing that with getting teachers back into schools. We're seeing that with vaccines. We're seeing that there's a lot of issues, and the adults were back in the room. So unfortunately, to be quite frank, the answer to your question is no. The flag is not going to be able to be used to unify us, because the flag means a lot of things to a lot of different people, and everyone has a right to express themselves appropriately as long as it's not hurting anybody. I don't have an issue with someone standing up for the flag, and I don't have an issue with someone kneeling for the flag. I think you can have both. I think that's the conversation. So, Mark Cuban just trying to, just eliminate it so it won't be there so we don't have to go through it. But at the same time, I don't think that's the answer either. I think we just have to deal with it as it comes and be able to have the conversation. And if someone takes a knee for those who have felt injustice in this country, that's their right. And for those of us who stand and take our hat off for it, that's our right. And I think you can have both. And no one has to be right and push it on there. And here's the thing: if you don't scream and yell about it, and if that's what they choose to do during the flag, that's their right as Americans. We don't have to like it. We don't have to watch. We don't have to support them if we don't want to. But Mark Cuban's answer of just taking it away, I don't think is going to help. It's just going to exacerbate it.
Tyrus is the host of Nuff Said on Fox Nation. You mentioned a number of issues there, one of which is being schools. We've been talking a little bit about how Joe Biden is trying to thread the needle on that issue in particular and try to sort of appease all sides. Do you think he's making the right approach, that this actually will get progress done where there has been no progress, or should he be a little bit bolder?
My biggest criticism is that the campaign promises were loud, bold. We're going to make this happen. We're going to unify. We're going to get our kids back in school. We're going to get vaccines. We're going to do all these things. And now we're hearing the bar is so low that the goal is to get kids in school for 1 day a week. Whether it's 1 day a week or 3 days a week, I would argue the risk is pretty much the same, but it's the same issues. The teacher unions want things a certain way. Teachers want things another way, even though the CDC, which was supposed to become the Bible in this administration, the CDC is saying that going back to school for kids is okay. It is less risk. So there we go. We're listening to the science. So here we go. And it's funny because private schools are open. My daughter goes to in-school learning 5 days a week. And they take the protocols and they take the things. And when something happens and if there's an issue, they deal with it accordingly. We've been shut down for a few days. We get reports when someone is positive, when they're not positive. We get, parents don't, there's they're following all kinds of CDC guidelines. And my little girl's in school. Now, my other child is doing virtual learning because she goes to a public school and they're not open. So it can be there. So what's the difference? Well, private schools are privately funded. So obviously the public schools and the teachers union, not necessarily the teachers, but the union is obviously holding out for other things. They want money, they want grants. So if it's not open, they have to get more money from the government. So I think that's what we're dealing with. That's my gut feeling. What does Bill Maher say? I don't know it's a fact, but I know it's true. It kind of feels like that.
The thing that you just said there, which was kind of a footnote to your point, but I think is so important for people to understand right now, is you distinguished the teachers unions from the teachers. Because
I think that we need to do that.
In political discourse, the teachers unions have very successfully made it so that the conversation is either you're for teachers or you're against teachers. And that the more married and inseparable the unions are from the teachers, the more political power and capital they have. I'm married to a teacher. I know a lot of teachers, both in the private parochial industry and in the public industry. There is not a monolith, just like any other demographic that gets pushed on us as voters that, if you're black, you think this. If you're suburban housewife, you think that. That's bullcrap. Yeah. We all know it's bullcrap.
It is.
And the teachers unions and the teachers are different. That is such an important point.
I mean, literally, I was on America's Newsroom today, only on Fox News, with the great Dana Perino. And there was that article being put out that they find that black children and Asian children are learning this and that. Like, you're grouping everyone together. Everyone's household's different. Right. Like, well, they're learning about their family more. Everyone's learning about their family more. We're all stuck at home. It has nothing to do with the color of your skin. It is more difficult to get kids to stay focused in front of the computer because it's easier for these clever little darlings to press mute on their side because I've caught it while it's gone down. And then they grab their phone or their other technological device and play that while the teacher is talking about math. I've seen it. And it had nothing to do with culture. It had everything to do with the cleverness of my 9-year-old. So it's... Are
you taking notes?
That's
like,
the
so
real
tell me how
story.
you pulled that off. What was that, Katie? You were talking to us about a kid who... Or maybe, I don't remember. I think it was you, Katie, was talking about a kid who changed their name to like loading or buffering or something.
Yes.
So that it always said buffering on the screen.
Mhm.
So that the teacher just thought that there's a rough connection.
Yeah.
And then the kid could do whatever they want. They're smart.
That's the story. These clever, darling, loving children that we have. We have to watch them like a hawk because the teachers aren't able to do that while they're teaching in front of the classroom. And when they're dealing with, in some cases, 10, 11 to 20 kids on Zoom, and the ones who are being active, and the teachers can only talk to one at a time. And teachers usually have eyes in the back of their head, but the eyes in the back of their head apparently don't work on Zoom. So there's a lot of things that is more important than grouping and making a race thing. It's laughable. Poor kids struggle. It doesn't matter what color they are. Poor children struggle when they don't have a computer in the home, when they only have one parent in the home, and mom's working 60 hours a week to keep food on the table. Yes, their in-home education is going to struggle, and I don't care if they're green. It's going to happen, and we need to. But it's better to make it a race thing, because then you don't have to deal with it.
Yeah, it's so true that there is disparity, and we're, for political purposes, looking in all the right spots to fix it. I got to ask you, you're a Patriots fan? Are you a Patriots fan? I know you're Bruins and.
Okay, you know what? Now you're baiting. You know what? You're teasing me. You know darn right well that I'm a Patriots fan. You know that.
Are you a Tom Brady fan?
Listen, I'll explain it to you guys like this. Since we're talking about family, I will keep it within the realm of family. Mom and Dad got a divorce. Mom is the New England Patriots. Father, Tom Brady, he left. He moved to Florida. He met a younger woman in Florida, and he's doing phenomenal. So when I go to visit Dad for summer, I can just let Mom know Dad is fine. And I'm happy for Dad. I am thrilled that Dad has found new life. I am so happy for Dad. Go, Dad. We're fine here at home. We'll be good. We'll move on. We're looking at some new stepdads. You know what I'm saying? But we'll figure it out. But in the meantime, I could not be happier for dear old Dad. Good for him. And at the same time, Mom, get it together.
I don't even know if I asked a question. I love it.
You don't need to.
Did you see Tom Brady throw the Lombardi trophy from one boat to the next in wherever they were? I think to Gronk.
He's got 7 of them. If the one falls and sinks, you got 6 more.
I don't think
Tampa Bay
Buccaneers ownership is thinking that. It was crazy.
No, they got but I'm just saying. I'm sure there's. You know what? He can get his own made. He's got 7. The NFL has 6 at best. So
I think he has more than any NFL franchise now himself.
Yeah, and listen, I didn't look. I heard everyone's like he can celebrate, do what he wants to do. I'm not doing all that. I'm not going to watch somebody else celebrate. I'm happy for Pops. And whatever he got hair plugs and a facelift and his teeth bleached, like he's living the dream. And I'm just really happy for dear old Dad.
Clearly, we can tell.
Yeah.
Tyrus, it's been a pleasure. This time,
Thank you.
mean, listen, I'm here not watching the St. Louis Rams, so I just despise the whole process, but I had to ask.
Oh, so you really you're the new dad over there.
We got nothing. We're Chiefs territory now.
Family.
We got nothing.
I think you got golf. I think golf's going to St. Louis.
We did get Nolan Arenado, so I'll put that out
there. You
there.
go.
We'll take that.
Yeah. Your Cardinals are doing all right. At least
So far.
I don't even want to talk about the Red Sox, but whatever.
We'll talk
or
about
the
that next
Celtics.
time.
You ever hear of a center Celtics? Just putting that out there. 40,000 guards, not one big, but I'm not going there right now.
Tyrus, we'll talk to you again next week. Thank you.
Hey, we ended the show laughing. Usually we don't know. So
yeah,
we're laughing.
This is a
It's all
win.
good right now.
This goes in the win column.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Tyrus, we'll
take
talk
a
to you
W.
next week. Yeah, bye. Host Enough Said on Fox Nation. Become a subscriber at foxnation.com. I didn't know. Some people hate the Patriots for letting, when we parted ways with Albert Pujols, if he would have won a World Series with the Angels the next year, how would we have felt about that? There would have been mixed emotions. It would have depended on the person you ask. Or like I said, I'll have to go run the tape. I don't know that I actually did ask a question. Well, no, I asked him I think I started to say, Patriots. Are you a Patriots fan?
Yes.
Yeah.
And he knew where I was going. So
I just have to say, drunk Tom Brady, love it.
I do.
Loving every minute of it.
You should lend him your shirt.
I should.
Born for beer.
We should get Tom Brady drunk before every game next season and see if he can still do it again.
Yeah, let's make this a fair fight.
Let's make it fair.
If you haven't seen it on Twitter, he was a little less stable walking after the parade there, and I wasn't mad about it. I don't know. Some people probably are, but lighten up, Francis. We'll be back in just a minute. Don't go away.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Ameren Missouri is building the future with a smart energy plan that advances thousands of projects across the state, including installing new composite poles to better withstand storms. That's energy at work. Learn more at amerenmissouri.com/plan.
If your home's current setup doesn't meet your needs, don't get frustrated. Get on the phone and call Lakeside Renovation and Design to transform your existing space into the beautiful home of your dreams. Our custom carpentry work has been wowing homeowners for over 20 years. Whether you want a deck, porch, sunroom, or anything else you can imagine, our award-winning team does it all, in-house, no subcontractors. We even stand behind our work with a lifetime workmanship warranty. Request a free consultation at 636-978-5000. That's 636-978-5000. You'll love your home all over again.
So I was just reading one of the comments here on the Annie Fry Show Facebook Live from Tim on Facebook. Hi, Annie. Just a quick note to tell you, I have talked to Stewart's American Mortgage, and they're helping me out with a refinance. So far, it has been great. Thanks for the info. I adore hearing from you when you go to Stewart's American Mortgage, because it can be a life-changing experience when you go do the bagel loan and you do a refi with Stewie and you lower that monthly payment, hundreds of dollars. I've heard of just gigantically drastic payments that have gone down because your rate you haven't looked at in a while. And now he's saying if your rate's in the threes, you need to call 314-324-4440. I did a refinance about a year and a half ago, and my payment went down almost $200 a month, and I didn't add any money on, and I didn't extend the length of my loan, and I've appreciated that every single month when I go to make a payment. If you are looking to do a refinance, you choose Stewart's American Mortgage because of the bagel loan, because he doesn't charge you fees. He doesn't make you pay to do the refinance. His entire business is set up on this premise. And you can only do it at Stewie's with Stewie at Stewart's American Mortgage. 314-324-4440. Stewart'sAMC.com. Google the bagel loan. NMLS number 226715.
Jewels on Hampton in St. Louis Hills is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, and fine watches on site. Jewels on Hampton is a premier jeweler with an exquisite selection of diamonds, semi-precious stone jewelry, and vintage watches. Their expert design team can restyle your jewelry to today's contemporary style. They also do jewelry and watch repair. Need extra cash? Jewels on Hampton is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, and fine watches. Bring your collectibles and clocks, sports memorabilia, and figurines too. Jewels on Hampton, 4506 Hampton, just 3 blocks south of Chippewa. Call them at 314-752-5000. That's 314-752-5000. So if you need some extra cash, looking for that one-of-a-kind piece, make Jewels on Hampton your first stop. Jewels on Hampton in St. Louis Hills.
Get your Valentine something special this year, the best version of you. Call the St. Louis Men's Clinic today for their $49 Valentine's Day special. Don't let erectile dysfunction stop you. Be the man you know you can be and take action now. Call the St. Louis Men's Clinic at 314-828-2600. That's 314-828-2600 and schedule your private consultation for only $49. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain.
Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm here in St. Louis. I've been warning our clients that IRS employees are back at work since mid-July, and their collection efforts have ramped up. Well, sure enough, it looks like it's happening. So if you have unfiled tax returns, wage levies, bank levies, or tax liens, now's the time to call the Lance Drury Law Firm before the IRS calls you. Tax resolution plans are based off your current income. So if your current income is less than normal due to the COVID-19 pandemic, this is precisely the time for the Lance Drury Law Firm to help you. Your consultation is free, so don't put it off. The Lance Drury Law Firm focuses solely on tax resolution law. It's all we do. And if you have IRS problems, you have legal problems. Let us use our tax law resolution experience to guide you and work on your custom resolution plan. Call now. It's free and confidential. Call me, Lance Drury, at 314-260-6120 or go to Lance, DRURYlaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Information to keep you moving. Dependable traffic, mornings and afternoons with Sue Thomas. Driven by Ambassador Midwest Floor Company. The best way to deal with in-home traffic. Experience more at Ambassador Midwest Floor.
Ain't nothing like a bird to play to tickle my fear today. Work this way, accentuate my lips. Oh dear, it's my very first kiss to call upon the sermon today. Yes, to call upon these words to say.
So I know that for people who do listen to the show a lot, and if you're on Twitter, I don't know, Katie, where did you discover? I haven't watched The Mandalorian yet. And it's funny because we were just about to endeavor into that. We did WandaVision in my house first because it was more for everybody in the family. My girls were going to be more interested in watching WandaVision than The Mandalorian, although I think that they'll like it once we start watching it. So we're getting ready to watch The Mandalorian probably this weekend. And then they fire the lead female. Is that right, Katie?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You've watched
Sort
it.
of.
Yeah.
Ryan, have you watched the whole series?
Yeah, I've watched it all now. She's kind of a reoccurring guest on the show. So she's not, there's really no lead other than The Mandalorian.
So no spoilers for me or for anybody else, although I don't know, maybe you all have canceled Disney Plus by now. I paid for 3 years of Disney Plus up front. So if I wanted to go and cancel it, I think I would be out. I mean, I don't know. I think that when I bought it before it was available, like maybe right when they announced it, there was a way to purchase it. And it was like 40% of the total price. It was like buy 1 year up front, get 3 years total. So I paid for it. So I don't even know how I would cancel it. And I am consistent in my message that I don't like boycotts. I think boycotts are not good. But that's my personal opinion. I don't care what you do. You know, if you want to, I did cancel Netflix, but the reason I canceled Netflix was not because someone told me we're boycotting Netflix. It's because I saw what Netflix was doing with, was it called Cuties?
Yes.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like 11-year-old prepubescent girls and the sexualization of them. And it was very awful. And there was an outroar about it. And Netflix was like, we're doing good here. And I was like, I'm gone.
Mm-hmm. Peace out.
So, Katie, do you want to talk about this story? Because the first message I get from Katie this morning at like 7:30 or something is like, oh my gosh, they fired this. I did not want to open my eyes to this morning. So I know that this has really gotten under your skin.
Yes.
And I didn't want to not talk about it because, yes, it's a Disney-owned product. And I am clearly, obviously, a fan of Disney. I hate what they're doing here, but I don't know as much about it as you might.
So Gina is an outspoken conservative on Twitter, on Facebook, on all of her social media platforms. She has been for a while now. And she plays a character in The Mandalorian, Cara Dune. And if she's just a part, like Ryan highlighted, a reoccurring role in the series, and she's wonderful. She expressed some tweets that apparently people did not like. And so they started a hashtag and it was like cancel Cara Dune or something around those lines. And that was an overnight sensation. And then I wake up today to the Star Wars. She's not going to be part of the Star Wars galaxy anymore. She's not going to be on The Mandalorian anymore. Lucasfilm dropped her. And they said, we have no more ties with her. I don't know if this was something like a work in progress, if this was something that they were like, okay, contractually, we've been working on this for a while, and today's the day we decided not to.
They certainly haven't explained it that way.
Correct.
They certainly haven't done anything to come out, at least from the last time I was in the Twitter cesspool swimming around. They haven't come out and been like, Oh, it has nothing to do with this. I mean, there is an implication that she was putting a message out there that was an anti-Semitic message.
Yes.
And in the midst of all of this, when you read what she puts out there, she's really comparing today the way people who have opinions that it's not that the opinion isn't popular, it's that it's not popular with the ruling class.
Correct.
The people who have the power to react.
She did not put out, she put out a tweet again, and we have said this through and through and through. Do not compare anything to the Holocaust. Do not compare anything to Hitler. Don't compare anything to Nazis. Let's step away from that. Let's never, ever use that in any type of comparison. It is its own thing, and it was horrendous. We have said that from the beginning when people were calling Trump the next Hitler. And so she did something similar to that, which I don't like, but it wasn't a horrendous tweet. And then they tagged on this TikTok video or Instagram video that she reposted and said she also posted like Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself, which is basically everything that everybody was already saying. And just a couple of other things that seemed really mild, that were not anything insane or outrageous. And then I woke up today after reading through some of the reasons why they canceled her, and I was just so infuriated. I'm so mad. It's not even the fact that I'm in love with her character on The Mandalorian. I thought it was a good character. It's the fact that every single person in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, every single person in the Star Wars galaxy, every single person that's part of Disney is allowed to have a voice on these social media platforms.
Mark Ruffalo, Captain America, whatever his name, Chris Evans,
yes,
Brie Larson. I mean, these are three people who are aggressively political.
All the time. So much so that they're saying they're saying horrible things about the Republican Party, but about the president of the United States. And so that's all okay. They get to renew their contracts, get more money.
Because they said the right thing.
Because they said the right thing. And again, I'm sorry, I don't mean to be this mad. But
she's mad, people.
The things that she said were not even bombastic. They weren't even crazy, in the realm of crazy. She was just voicing a concern because she is a conservative. And she's like, there's not many of us out there that are popular working in these types of industries anymore.
Daily Wire reports today that, according to the Hollywood Reporter, Lucasfilms wanted to fire actress Gina Carano from the Mandalorian series before controversy surrounded the actress this week. The company took final steps to remove her from the popular Disney Plus show on Wednesday after social media users expressed their disapproval of one of her recent social media posts. So the pitchforks and the torches came, and they succeeded. I'm trying to think about a torches and pitchforks moment where conservatives say they're going to do something as the aggressor, not as the defender, and get their way. It doesn't really happen. This is from the report. Disney reportedly fired conservative actress Gina Carano on Wednesday because of a series of posts she made on social media that critics claimed were offensive. The post that generated the most controversy was a screenshot of another person's post that she then posted on her own Instagram account. The screenshot stated, this is what it said: Jews were beaten in the streets, not by Nazi soldiers, but by their neighbors, even by children. Because history is edited, most people today don't realize that to get to the point where Nazi soldiers could easily round up thousands of Jews, the government first made their own neighbors hate them simply for being Jews. How is that any different from hating someone for their political views? Personally, I'm thinking if I am an actress in a gigantically successful production, I am going to have the mantra of, I'm just keeping this stuff to myself. That's what I would do personally. I don't really think here that she's directly comparing anybody to Nazis or to Jews. I think what she's saying is, we live in a time and a place where there is one side actively encouraging human to human, you and the person in the car next to you, or you and the person in the cubicle behind you, actively encouraging you to assess one another's political opinions and to choose how you react to those people based on those political opinions. And you not only have the right to hate them, you actually have an obligation to do that. I don't know that it was smart for her to wade out into those waters. I don't know that it was brave, but I do know that I have seen incredibly more heinous things. James Gunn, who is the director, I think he's the director of the Guardians of the Galaxy franchise, was tweeting jokes about pedophilia. And the actors came out and were like, they were jokes. It wasn't, you've taken this too far. What they said was what he did was not good, but you fired him and you've taken this too far. He came back. Are these people going to do this for Gina? Is it, do we live in a society now where it's right? You have the right to have the wrong opinion. You have the right to say the wrong opinion, because the people with the power are the people who employ. Right now it's Lucasfilm, which is obviously owned by Disney. Anybody who sees this and wants to cancel Disney Plus because of it, I get that. I respect your decision to do that. I'm not going to tell you what you should do. I'm not going to tell you shouldn't do it. I am going to tell you that if you think that at the end of the day, you canceling Disney Plus is going to be your contribution to this, your voice on these issues matter more than that $6.99 that you're not going to be paying a month. It's all a part of a process. But you need to have thought leaders. You need to have people willing to be brave and speak out. And it seems as though if you have a contrary opinion to those who are in power and the mob can come after you, you can be toasted anytime. And don't think for a second that I don't realize on this show that I could say something wrong or do something wrong at any time that could be taken out of context, that I could say something that in context makes sense, but could be taken out of context and be used against me. And whether it's right or wrong, that won't matter if the mob is big enough and loud enough and people want to cave to it. That's the world we all live in. If you're an accountant at a big corporation and you do something that gets the wrong attention from the wrong people, are we all subject to that right now? I kind of think we are. It's a scary place to be.
Sickening.
Yeah, it's basically you will think like me or you will not work. That is the epitome of authoritarianism, except that it's not quite coming from the government yet. It's coming from culture, which is still has some libertarianness to it, but it's scary.
There'd be no need for it to ever come from the government if the culture and if the business industry will take care of it for them. Right. And when you follow the path of money that flows from these gigantic businesses, yes, Disney included, and many, many other ones. I'll tell you here real quick before we go to break. The reason I don't boycott is because if you look into anything, you're going to find something worthy of a boycott. And I'm raising kids. I'm working my tail off every single day. The virtue that goes behind that of boycotting and what you have to go through to participate in cancel culture, I'd rather just speak up on it, live my life, and do the things that I have chosen with the information, the knowledge, and the perspective that I have that is best for me. To cancel things in my life that are best for me and for my family, then if that's Disney Plus for you today, that's Disney Plus for you today. I get it. We can talk about it when we come back. 314-241-9797. Don't go away.
I will tie my shoes to hairbone. Well, I will walk.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Fry Show.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studio. In addition to heating and cooling, Air Comfort Service also offers indoor air quality, water heater, and AeroSeal duct sealing services. Get in your comfort zone with aircomfortservice.com.
Hi, I'm Ryan Kelly with thehomeloanexpert.com. It's only February and homes are selling at a record pace. Inventory is super low and demand is at an all-time high. If you're even considering buying a home this year, you need to be working with the experts. Don't miss your shot. Get pre-approved today for your new home with our 5-minute loan approval, only available at thehomeloanexpert.com.
The Home Loan Expert LLC, NMLS number 1326241.
putting the pieces together for your estate plan is a difficult, arduous process. You've got to ask a lot of questions. You have to know what questions to ask. I don't know what questions to ask. When I went through this process myself, I was asked, what do you want to do in this circumstance? What about your secondary if this happens? And what about that? You sit there and you're like, I don't even know. It requires a lot of thought. It requires a lot of conversation, and it requires somebody to guide you through this process who knows the questions to ask that you haven't thought of, and who can help you understand the consequences of choosing one thing over the other. Beck and Lennox Estate Planning and Elder Law are the experts at this. 636-946-7899. Free consultation for you right now to call them and say, this is my circumstance. I've never put an estate plan together. Should have done it a long time ago, or I've never considered doing this. Sounds like it's something I need to do. Protect your spouse, protect your children, your dependents, your grandchildren, protect what you've earned, what you've built, and do it with Beck and Lennox Estate Planning and Elder Law. If you have an estate plan and you haven't had it looked at in the last 3 years or so, you can call them and also book a free consultation. Go online to their website and click the book a call button at beckelderlaw.com, or you can call them at 636-946-7899. Mention the Annie Fry Show when you do, beckelderlaw.com.
Home warranty. I know, right? Buying coverage for appliances, your heater and AC, etc., from a company that hopes you never ever have a claim or call? Let me introduce you to a real home warranty company, the kind that actually wants to help you. Upkeep Home Warranty and Maintenance. Upkeep visits your home 4 times a year to maintain your appliances and equipment. You will never get a lack of maintenance denial because Upkeep does the maintenance. Also nice, Upkeep assigns you one point person to help you. You won't be passed around like an office hot potato, and you won't get subcontractors. Upkeep does all the work, so there's no blame game. Just experts helping you. Visit upkeepstl.com today and type in 97.1 for $100 off. Upkeepstl.com. Type in 97.1 to get $100 off. Don't be denied. Instead, be relieved. Upkeep Home Warranty and Maintenance. 636-387-7331. Ask about their free maintenance minutes. Keep up your home with Upkeep.
Selecting a financial advisor is one of the most important decisions you will make heading into retirement. Hi, I'm Bob Stockdale, Senior Vice President Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel, and host of On the Money every Saturday morning at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Choosing a financial advisor is a critical step in planning for your retirement. You want to find an advisor you can trust is working in your best interest with the experience to do the job well. Providing guidance solely in your best interest is foundational to our team's approach. And with over 90 years of combined experience, you can have confidence we have the depth of knowledge to help you navigate important financial decisions. If you're retiring in the next 5 years or need a second opinion on your current plan, contact us today for a free consultation. To schedule your free retirement planning consultation, contact us at bobstockdale.com. That's bobstockdale.com. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE.
Say thank you to your home for being there for you. Start with a free estimate from your neighborhood CertaPro painters. We really understand how you feel about your home. That's why you can count on us to take care of every detail. Listening, prepping, painting. It's always worry-free with our expert painting team. Whatever project you have in mind, count on CertaPro painters doing the job beautifully. Schedule your free estimate now at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. Each CertaPro painter's business is independently owned and operated.
The Tim Jones Show.
Paris Denard. The American people should be very concerned. There's more evidence about Joe Biden's involvement with foreign entanglement than there ever was as it relates to President Trump.
Tim Jones, Sunday nights at 7 on 97.1 FM Talk.
And if he came back, ran for office again, and was elected president, would you allow him back on the platform?
So the way our policies work, when you're removed from the platform, you're removed from the platform, whether you're a commentator, you're a CFO, or you are a former or current public official.
So the CFO of Twitter says that the Trump ban from Twitter is permanent. Donald Trump wouldn't come back on Twitter and not do exactly what he had been doing the whole time. So if he came back on, it would take him less than 24 hours to do something that at least they deem as ban worthy. I mean, I am really curious. And every day that goes by that we don't know what's going on in Trump land, the more curious I get. The absence makes, I guess, the heart grow fonder, or at least more curious in this case. But watching the Democrats stitch together 4 to 5 years of things that the president has done and said in video, in audio, in tweet fashion. And basically their case here is that Donald Trump is the worst person to ever walk the face of the planet. And the challenge that they face is tying that to what took place on January 6th. When I'm watching this impeachment trial and they're trying to prove how bad January 6th was, I want to be like, knock, knock. Everybody knows that. Mm-hmm. Everybody said that from the beginning on both sides of the aisle. Nobody out there right now is going, January 6th needed to happen. That's not, nobody is saying that. Everybody is aghast at what took place on January 6th. It seems to me that everybody was so on the same page about how bad January 6th was that it actually was kind of confusing for people to try to politically position themselves around the issue to make sure that they could, what was it Rahm Emanuel said, never let a good crisis go to waste, squeeze every bit of political capital out of that, which is the grossest thing ever, but not surprising whatsoever, to make sure that every ounce of political capital could be gained from what took place on January 6th. So how do we make sure that the American people understand that not only was January 6th as bad as we all saw with our own eyes in real time that it was? I've seen people in our comments here on our Facebook Live or the YouTube Live that we're on be like, it's really nice to hear Annie say that what happened on January 6th was bad. And I'm like, well, I've been saying that since January 6th, and so is everybody else. It's bizarre to me to react to people or to hear people who are so wrapped up in their obsessive hatred of Donald Trump that they are shocked to hear somebody who has supported Trump, me, who doesn't think that Donald Trump deserves to be convicted of inciting an insurrection for the very same type of words and language that people on both sides of the aisle, nobody, like, I can't stress enough, there is no innocence here. There's a lot of guilt to go around, so much so that we're drowning in it. Our country is drowning in the depravity of our culture. We see this happening. You don't have to prove to me that what this president has done and said is inflammatory in the sense that that's the way the conversation goes. Look at how John McCain and Mitt Romney fluffed their way through their campaigns and got the snot kicked out of them when it came to going to the ballot box. You know, Michelle Obama's "when they go low, we go high." Do you know that was in response to another prominent Democrat that says when we go low, was it Rahm Emanuel again, or no, it was Eric Holder. I have to Google the exact quote, but it was when they go low. He basically said we go lower and we make sure we win while they're down. That was the opposite. That's what spurred the "when they go low, we go high" comment. You can say that you go high, but I would have to be high to believe that's what's actually going on. It's what is it, Katie? Go ahead.
When they go low, we kick them.
Yeah.
When they go low, we kick them.
It's even less articulate than I thought it was going to be. We kick them. It's like something that my kids would say after they say, "No, it's not mom's red jacket. It's the reflection of a red jacket," when they're playing I Spy.
He said this. When I say we kick them, I don't mean we do anything inappropriate. We don't do anything illegal, but we have to be tough and we have to fight.
He's a good man.
Great guy.
Charlie Brown. what is Donald Trump doing right now? And when he comes back, you can't come back and not be Donald Trump. Where do you come back and be Donald Trump? I mean, I'll say this. I try to watch Tucker every night because he covers things that nobody else is paying attention to, which I appreciate. And Sean Hannity comes on after him. And I looked at my husband the other night and I said, who is watching Sean Hannity right now and doesn't know everything that Sean Hannity is going to say and believe everything that Sean Hannity is telling you to believe? He's got a big audience, but like I have to ask myself when I do this for 3 hours, I'm here to entertain you. That is the bottom line. I am here to make sure that you're entertained, because if you're not entertained, you will not come back. And that's just really not good for my bottom line. But if at the end of the day, nothing changes, if I come to you for 3 hours a day and nothing changes, and if Sean Hannity does an hour of punditry and nothing changes, and Lindsey Graham and Dan Bongino and Sarah Carter say the same thing every night and nothing changes, I don't know what the equivalent guests are on Rachel Maddow's show, but who's tuning into Rachel Maddow for an hour at night and going, wow, she just really changed my mind on that issue? Like, nobody is. And if it's entertaining, there's a purpose behind it. I understand that. I respect that. I'm not disrespecting what they're doing, but I watch it and I go, I'm an hour into this. What now? And there's everybody to their corners. It's good for entertainment, but it's not good for the country coming together. There's a place for both of it. I understand and respect the presence of Rachel Maddow in this world and Sean Hannity. I think they're about as comparable as it can be on opposite sides of the spectrum. If you're watching Rachel Maddow every night, you do not want Sean Hannity's face to even scroll across your screen, and vice versa. But gosh, I mean, we just keep saying the same things over and over again, hearing the same things over and over again. And if you've removed Donald Trump from that conversation for a couple of months and he comes back on the scene, is it anything going to be different? I don't know. Curious what you think Trump's doing right now. Comment on the live chat. We'll be right back.
You're gonna go to the record store.
Hey guys, Glover here for a brand new sponsor of the show, Legacy Box. If you listen to the show, you know how into my family history I am, and pictures of my great grandparents and videos from when my mom and dad shot reel to reel with my brother and sister going to Florida in the 50s. All of this stuff is deteriorating. You can send it off to Legacy Box. It's super, super simple. I'm in the process of doing it right now. You just put it all into the Legacy Box. You send it off. They digitize it. You can have it stored on the cloud, a thumb drive, a DVD, along with all of your original media that you sent. Of course, you get that back. It's completely safe. It's very affordable, and you're going to be so glad that you did it. So will your kids. So will your grandkids. Go to legacybox.com/Glover right now to take advantage of a 50% offer. This exclusive offer won't last long, so order the kit now and send it in whenever you're ready. That's legacybox.com/Glover for 50% off.
Most serious diseases have no one to blame, but not mesothelioma. Mesothelioma has just one cause: exposure to asbestos. If a mesothelioma diagnosis has hit your family, you may be entitled to compensation that will protect your future, even if the employer or product manufacturer is long gone. But you'll need a lawyer that knows how to get this done, like Cooney and Conway. The law firm of Cooney and Conway has 50 years of success restoring dignity and financial security for the families of mesothelioma victims, steelworkers, electricians, pipe fitters, mechanics, and many others, including the wives of some of these workers exposed to asbestos from their husbands' work clothes. If the diagnosis is mesothelioma, don't wait to call Cooney and Conway. Go to CooneyConway.com or call for a free consultation. CooneyConway.com. CooneyConway.com or call 800-322-5573. 800-322-5573.
Hello, Marvin Mitchell here from Compass Retirement Solutions. Did you know that the average 3-year CD rate in the area was less than 1%? That's why we are excited to offer you several accounts that are short-term and pay better than bank rates. For example, we currently have a 3-year account paying 2.4% and a 5-year account paying 3.5% per year guaranteed. What a great place for your lazy money. You know, the money that you don't plan to use for the next 3 to 5 years. Now, terms and conditions do apply. So for more information, call 314-373-1598. Again, call 314-373-1598. This is Marvin Mitchell, and we would like to put your lazy money to work for you. Call 314-373-1598.
Guarantees are backed by the claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company. Rates can change without notice. Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois.
KFTK FM Florissant, K254CR St. Louis, driven by the Bommarito Automotive Group, 97.1 FM Talk, a radio.com station.
It's the final day for the prosecution. Lisa Brady, Fox News. House impeachment managers wrapping up their 16 hours of arguments that former President Donald Trump is to blame for the deadly attack on the Capitol, even using his supporters' words against him.
As one man explained on a live stream he taped from inside the Capitol, quote, "Our president wants us here. We wait and take orders from our president."
Colorado Congresswoman Diana DeGette and the others serving as prosecutors say the president's claims of election fraud and his rally near the Capitol lit the fuse. Trump attorney David Schoen telling Fox News,
"Do you think it leads to healing, to show and re-show the tragedy that happened here at the Capitol, lives lost, that had nothing whatsoever to do with President Trump, but they want you to believe that it did?"
The defense begins its case tomorrow. President Biden calls the video footage from the attack harrowing and says the presentation may have changed some minds, though the White House also says he will still refrain from offering an opinion on a verdict. He also continues to urge quick work on his rescue plan for the country.
Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says this week's impeachment trial of former President Trump is not slowing down efforts to pass a $1.9 trillion coronavirus relief measure.
Our committees, as we speak, both in the House and Senate, are working on bold COVID relief that the American people need.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi says she wants a bill done by the end of this month that includes a $15 an hour minimum wage, a provision that could run afoul of Senate rules using a budget process to approve a plan without Republican support. On Capitol Hill, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
California now has the most COVID deaths in the country, surpassing New York, though both have more than 45,000. But LA is shutting several mass vaccination sites temporarily because of a vaccine shortage. America is listening to Fox News.
Bria's fashion boutique is the worst. First, they asked me if I needed help finding anything. Just because I'm gorgeous doesn't mean I need help.
No matter how hard you work for your small business, online reviewers will find something to complain about.
Then they tell me they're having a sale. Oh, so you're assuming I'm poor. Cool.
And while Progressive can't save you from these trolls, we can help you save money on commercial, auto, and business insurance.
Also, they tried to give me the friends and family discount. I'm not your friend, so...
Get a quote online today at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliated and third-party insurers.
In honor of President's Day, Dell delivers savings to help America's small businesses get more done. Office Anywhere, with up to 50% off high-performance laptops, desktops, and servers with Intel Core processors and top-brand electronics. Plus, refresh now with flexible financing options. Call 877-ASK-DELL for a Dell Technologies advisor who can help you find the right tech. That's 877-ASK-DELL or visit Dell.com/President's Day.
Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling weather with Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Mostly cloudy skies with us on this Tuesday afternoon, keeping it cold, 22 for the high. Tonight, clouds and cold, 18. Wednesday, clouds, another little clipper coming by. Light snow, freezing rain, and sleet. Light's the key word. The focus, St. Louis South, 22. Clouds on Thursday, 22. Even colder weather Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. High temperatures in the teens. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage. Need to know what it takes for a home loan to fit your budget and your family? Rocket can. When you need an expert to help navigate the home loan process, Rocket can.
Don't paint, don't vinyl, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Never paint again with Rhino Shield. Listen to what a couple of happy customers have to say.
My family's business is over 10,000 square feet, and it did not have the curb appeal I wanted.
Our building was really faded. You came out, you gave me all of these options that would fit my building. I don't want to have to paint my building again. 25 years is a long time to not have to worry about the outside maintenance of your building as far as paint. That's a no-brainer. That's why Rhino Shield worked for me.
What a wonderful job they did. It's beautiful. They were very thoughtful, kind, considerate guys. Appreciate all the work that these two young men did.
Call Rhino Shield, 877-25-RHINO, 877-25-RHINO, or 877-25rhino.com. See what we did there? Genius. Tell them, ladies.
No paint, don't Rhino. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Cassens Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram, located in Edwardsville, Glen Carbon. Wonderful place to go shopping for your next vehicle. New or pre-owned, they have everything that you need, and they're just waiting for you to stop by. Make sure you mention Annie Fry when you go and let them know where you heard about it. I was listening to, or Mark, I think it was, on our YouTube chat, was saying that he was just this past week, I believe, at Cassens purchasing a vehicle, having a great experience. I've heard from so many people who have gone to Cassens because they can trust them. Buying a car is not always the most fun experience. It's stressful. Certainly the circumstances that lead you into how you're needing to purchase that car, if there's an accident and you have an unexpected situation, or if you've been saving up and looking for that, amazing Jeep or that killer Charger, whatever you're looking for, you can go to Cassens. You can tell them what you need. You can tell them what your budget is, and they're going to work with you. They certainly did that with me both times that I've purchased vehicles from Cassens. And the next time we need to go buy a vehicle, we'll be going back there again because I know that I can trust them. You can too. Cassens has achieved the highest level of Customer First Award for Excellence by JD Power, and they now have employee pricing sales going on. If you want to learn more, visit them online at cassenscan.com.
Mark Cox here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call Thomas Helbig with the Retirement Advisory Group at 314-993-9494. He'll show you how to participate in the market gains without ever losing a penny. Thomas is the official financial advisor of the Mark Cox Morning Show.
It's a new year, so step into 2021 painlessly with Foot Healers 2-for-1 Custom Orthotics Special. Visit Foot Healers now and get real orthotics from real doctors for amazing real foot and heel pain relief. It's 2021. Walk the walk you should be walking with help from Foot Healers. Visit foothealers.com today for the details on this 2-for-1 deal and for all your foot care needs. Brentwood, Chesterfield, Creve Coeur, St. Peters, and Shrewsbury. Foot pain, foot care, Foot Healers. Foothealers.com.
Come on down to Edwards Carpet Stores.
Edwards Carpet's huge President's Day sale. 60-ounce carpet completely installed with pad, take-up, and furniture moving now $479 a square foot, and rigid core Cortex just $325 a square foot, material only.
97.1 FM Talk is the place for ideas and discussion that's free and fair. Stay connected by downloading the radio.com app. It's all at 971talk.com. The Annie Fry Show is sponsored by Forensic IT, the tech experts that find the root cause of your technical problems. ForensicIT.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
Right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
If you had to be stuck in an elevator with either President Trump, Mike Pence, or Jeff Sessions, who would it be?
Does one of us have to come out alive?
I'm dying. The humor is just overwhelming me right now.
The cackle.
Does one of us have to come out alive? That sounds like incitement. Does it bother you, Katie, to hear these things? Or, I mean, because we're so eyeball deep in the tit for tat that goes on every day. But when you hear something like that, if it were reversed, if that were I mean, I can't even imagine Mike Pence saying that. But if Donald Trump said that, or somebody associated with Donald Trump, I mean, would that be used against him?
Those things do bother me, just like the Gina Carano stuff bothers me. Just like it is 100% tit for tat. I know that, but if we don't point that out, then who is going to? But then you get down that cycle of just like, we're going down the rabbit hole and you did this. And I know that we're going to go down that rabbit hole, but just like I have conversations with my very, very liberal friends, if I don't point out those things, I don't know if they're going to recognize them.
Can we talk about, I should have cleared this with you off the air, but you said, I think off the air to us yesterday, that after the bar situation happened, where for people who, weren't listening then, Katie this past weekend went to a bar. Long story short, which is totally worth going to the podcast and listening to Katie tell the story, because her drunk 21-year-old girl voice is hilarious. It's as nails on the chalkboard as my cackle that I will not do again. This drunk girl comes up to their table and is asking for a cigarette. And as I said, long story short, she says, "It's okay, I'm a good person. I voted blue." And that was her justification for needing to bum a cigarette. To which Katie's response was, "I'll sum up. Of course you need to bum a cigarette because you voted blue. I buy my own stuff. I voted red." This is so funny. But I mean, when you're talking, you mentioned, I believe off the air, that you have friends who are with you who are super hyper liberal, who can't believe, they can't believe what took place, and that you were put in the position when you told her that you voted Republican, she felt sorry for you. And you're like, you were 21, wasted, asking me for cigarettes, and you're feeling sorry for me.
Don't, honey.
Sober up, chick.
Yeah.
But I mean, you said that the people who are not on your side of the aisle, but who are your friends, were just kind of jaw-droppingly like, what is going on here?
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of one of those moments where they're dumbfounded that this is the conversation, and that this... I've said this before. This is not the first conversation that has happened to me. This happens a lot to me, but a lot of people don't have those types of random conversations happen with them. So whenever it does, my friends were all in that booth with me and they're like, "Wow, that just happened. That went down." And I was like, yeah. And the sad part about it is, I'm the person sitting here saying, like, why did I have to explain myself? Why was I put on the stand and had to fight for the things that I believe in because a drunk person came up and said that she was better than me and she's a good person because she's a Democrat.
And I'm going to interject too, for people who are listening, because the people listening are thinking what I'm thinking, but I know the answer to it, which is, "Oh, Katie, you don't have to explain yourself. You know that."
Yeah.
But Katie's also like, this is my duty to my country.
Well, and it's just, and you know what? I'm saying this all for, they teach me a lot of things that I don't know either. My friends that are super, super liberal bring up some fantastic points that I didn't see or things that I might have missed. And I'm like, wow, great point. And they bring, I become aware because they bring things to my attention. But I am one of the only active conservatives that they have in their life that is at this age, that is willing to go toe to toe about these things that I know about.
You're like an exhibit at a zoo.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and that's
attraction.
The perfect example was the 21-year-old was stunned when I told her that I was a Republican. That is not something that happens often, because when you are my age, you usually just shut your mouth and go on your merry way, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Or the very rare breed of us goes out and says, like, no, I did vote red. I am a Republican. Why is that such a big deal to you?
So, Ryan, you're in your late 30s. I mean, the circle of friends, which I feel like my circle of friends is so well defined now in my life, because when you have a family and you have kids and you interject a pandemic in the middle of it, to me, everything is pared down quite a bit. There are less social things where you're going out, obviously, and just being around strangers. I don't know when the last time a 21-year-old drunk girl came up to you and asked for a cigarette and then told you who she votes for, and as a justification for anything.
I would have been begging for that to happen when I was 21.
Right? So I don't know. That's kind of a way to weed them out. But anyway, I digress. When at our point in life where we have kids and, you know, as I said, your social circle becomes pretty well defined and you become very content with that. And, you know, that's not to say that if you're in your late 30s, you don't want to go out and have a good time and in public place. It's just different. But do you think that still in our late 30s, there's a expectation of, is there a default I vote blue and I'm a good person where you have to come out of the I vote red closet and tell people and like show them I vote red and I'm really not the worst person on the planet?
No, you know what's funny? I feel like, and maybe it's because I actually am the profile of what, you know, if somebody walked up to me at a bar, I'm a almost 40-year-old white guy, they would probably assume I was Republican at this point, you know?
Actually, you're the problem, Ryan. I hate to tell you this.
But that's
why are you
that's
here?
my point. That's
How
actually
dare
my point.
you? You owe me a whole pack of cigarettes. And I'm sure you don't smoke. Yeah, exactly. Go buy me some.
Nobody's going to, like, when I go out with my friends, we may talk a little bit of politics, but it's not the point. You know, we don't get together to talk politics. We happen to all, I would say my little core group of people, we all are pretty close in ideology. And so there's kind of just a comfort that comes with that. But when it comes to talking politics with people outside of my little circle, we just don't. We don't talk politics that much. We talk about life. We talk about entertainment and stuff. And I feel like, and I may be wrong for thinking this, but there's a perception that when you're younger, you're supposed to be more engaged in politics and you're supposed to care more because you're going to change the world. And when you get to a little bit older, you kind of, there's a social aspect to kind of letting go of some of that stuff that I feel like on the right, we do more than the left does. I feel like the left talks about those things more actively with each other.
I think when you're young, the accessorizing of your politics is what people do. You don't, you put it on, you wear it for people. And it's a very, I mean, just like any accessory, it's a very shallow process. You can wear some really nice bling rhinestones. You can buy some really fancy looking things that aren't fancy at all and put them on and show the world who you want people to see when they see you adorn yourself with the stuff. That's what virtue signaling is. The idea that you have some sort of moral accessory that is a part of who you are as a human. And what value does it have if the world can't see it? I think when you're young, that's how you use politics. You want to, you know, I wanted to be independent. I don't know. My parents would probably say from the time I was 4. I was just a very independent spirit, shocking to everybody, I'm sure. But I will say I was an incredibly good student. I was an incredibly good kid. I was very combative at home. I argued my points. I felt if I was on the right side of something, that if I just gave it my best shot, that I would come out on top winning those arguments. Turns out I was wrong. It turns out in the parent-child equation, I didn't win any of those battles. And I you know, in that realm, like within my own home as a teenager, I was a very difficult teenager to raise because I was super bold and opinionated and stubborn in ways that I hope that today my parents look at that and go, well, that kind of paid off for her. Like that, she's not in prison. It didn't turn out as bad as it could be. But you know, there's a difference between advocating and arguing and being combative and being respectful. When I was a punk kid in my home, I wasn't nearly as respectful as I should have been. I would have saved myself and everybody a lot of grief if I wouldn't have argued why I was right all the time, because it was never about whether I was right or wrong. It was how I was going about doing it, which is what I feel like politics becomes when you fly the coop and you're living free and clear of the man, which is your parents when you're in high school and college, even though they're probably paying for your college, they're probably sending you gas money. You probably don't realize that somebody out there is paying for this thing called insurance for you. They might be helping you with tuition. They might assign for your loans. They are supporting you in every capacity that they possibly can support you, which is on a spectrum. And you think you're free and living life and like doing things, like I'm out here and I'm grown. You're not grown. And that's just the way it is. And if you don't have that boldness, then you're not going to learn some of the hard life lessons that life slaps you across the face with at some point. If, God willing, your parents let the slap land. If you never get punched in the face with a dose of life in the sense that reality sets in, you will live in that kind of jaded version of this reality that's been created around you until eventually life slaps you in the face and there's not that safety net that's there to catch you. And so many kids who become young adults, who go to college, who they just want to be different. They just want to be themselves. You go to college and you get injected into this system of education that is indoctrination. It is. When I was in college, there was indoctrination. I was, again, this is in my transitionary period, still too stubborn and opinionated to let that sink in for me, of course. But I can't tell you how many times I would argue a point with a professor and have people on the down low outside of class be like, that was awesome. Thank you for saying that. And I'm like, it would be super cool if you would say that or stand up in class so that I'm not having this conversation all by myself. There are people who are associated with this station right now who were in class with me, who told me years later, like, oh yeah, I was in that critical theory class with her. Used to go back and forth with this professor all the time and it was awesome. I'm like, where were you? Where were you then? You should have been like, I'm with her, like the Hillary, I'm with her. You could have been with me. But people don't do that. And then it becomes cool and the latest trend to take that virtue that the left is telling you in your college classroom, on your, in your Spotify playlist, on your movie screen, on your TV screen, from your selected political punditry. They're all telling you the same thing, which is you need to think this, or here is a list of names that we're going to call you consistently across all platforms until you concede to us. So you can either go through the strife that like Annie Fry, not Fry then, but Annie Fry is going through and argue every time you turn around somewhere, or you can just be a good person. I mean, that's really the bottom line. Then you get to the point where you get out of college, you're trying to find a job, you've taken out 6 figures of loans, or you've, have to get to the point where you're buying your own insurance now. I have to buy my own insurance? Well, I'm only 24. Why? I thought the government was telling me I could be on your insurance until I was 26. Okay, grown man. And you're having to pay for things like water or taxes, and you're looking at all these things and you're like, this is kind of bogus. What's going on? You're not going to immediately come onto the forefront and be like, wow, I was really wrong for those last 4 or 5 years when I was talking and puffing my chest out in the bars, telling people how great of a person I was that I vote blue. I actually think this kind of sucks. Nobody comes out and says that. So then you get married, you have kids, you get responsibilities that are all your very own, and you just become a quiet conservative, maybe not even a Republican. I don't know if we need to be less quiet, probably, because I feel as though we're rational still. If you're in the conservative group here, if you're of a conservative line of thinking, but you are stepping into the fire if you come out and you challenge those. I'm a good person. I voted blue. Can I have a cigarette?
And I feel like now I've had a taste for that fire, and I don't really know how to. Like, I used to not be this way. I used to be.
Do I owe you an apology?
Yes, you do, Annie. No, I used to not be a combative person, but something happened, and I think I got a taste of it.
have to diagnose what that is.
Person.
Katie's going to be like walking around in bars with packs of cigarettes, being like, anyone want a cigarette? Because I will tell you how I vote and give you a cigarette.
And I bought these, ladies.
Kevin Wheeler when we come back. Don't go away.
Afraid to lose control, caught up in this world. I've wasted time, I've wasted breath.
The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Fry Show.
Tune in to Right at Home with Rich every Saturday from noon to 1 p.m. This Mosby Building Arts Home Show covers topics ranging from design and architecture to remodeling and home maintenance. For answers to all of your home questions, don't miss Right at Home with Rich, brought to you by Mosby Building Arts.
Your energy needs are changing. That's why Ameren Missouri isn't waiting on the future. We're building it with a smart energy plan, advancing thousands of projects across the state. Here in St. Louis, we're adding new clean energy sources and installing new composite poles to better withstand storms. Moving Missouri closer to a future of energy centered around you. That's energy at work. Learn more at amerenmissouri.com/plan.
Businesses are struggling right now, which means a lot of good workers are being laid off. If this has happened to you, contact your employer and ask them to look into the Missouri Department of Labor's Shared Work Program at sharedwork.mo.gov.
The Med Spa at the Institute of Natural Health understands how difficult it is to maintain healthy skin and how much this can affect someone's life. With the right combination of treatments and products, they can help you keep your skin looking healthy and more youthful, while also reducing and preventing damage. Take your first step towards healthy skin at the Med Spa at the Institute of Natural Health. Visit them at inhstl.com or call to schedule at 314-293-8123. That's 314-293-8123.
Menards is your one-stop shop for everything to make your hardwood floors beautiful. With the largest selection of Minwax stains, we have what you need for any staining project. Refinish your floors faster with Minwax Complete One-Step Floor Finish. It can be applied over existing polyurethane floor finish, meaning no sanding for you. It's available in 5 colors in a gloss or satin finish. Grab a gallon today for only $64.99. Prices good through February 13th.
Save big money at Menards.
Jewels on Hampton in St. Louis Hills is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, and fine watches on site. Jewels on Hampton is a premier jeweler with an exquisite selection of diamonds, semi-precious stone jewelry, and vintage watches. Their expert design team can restyle your jewelry to today's contemporary style. They also do jewelry and watch repair. Need extra cash? Jewels on Hampton is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, and fine watches. Bring in your collectibles and clocks, sports memorabilia, and figurines too. Jewels on Hampton, 4506 Hampton, just 3 blocks south of Chippewa. Call them at 314-752-5000. Jewels on Hampton.
Hi, I'm Tom Connors. Went to Mark Patrick's hypnosis seminar February 6, 2019. Nothing worked before. Left there and never smoked again. Amazing. Easy, affordable, and guaranteed. A year later, with my wife, Michelle, attended Mark Patrick's weight loss seminar. She lost 18 pounds, and I lost 43 in 8 weeks.
It's true. He smoked 2 packs a day, and nothing worked until Mark Patrick Hypnosis. Now we're losing weight together, eating healthy, full on half the food, crazy, enjoying exercising. Who would have believed Mark Patrick Hypnosis really works?
It's amazing. I can breathe again. My blood pressure went down, and I've got so much energy.
So much energy.
And look great.
Stop smoking. Lose weight now without cravings, irritability, or your money back. Only $49.99 guaranteed. Join Mark Patrick's hypnosis seminar and lose the weight. Stop smoking or end anxiety because of coronavirus. Seminars now online. Live Thursday, February 11th or Saturday, February 13th for the St. Louis area. Details at markpatrickseminars.com.
Need a break from the sound bites and the talking heads? Do you want information you can actually use? Information that'll change your life for the better? Then listen to the Del Walmsley Radio Show.
Listen to the Del Walmsley Radio Show this Saturday afternoon from 1 to 2 p.m. on 97.1 FM Talk.
The latest local forecast and severe weather coverage you can count on from the name in St. Louis weather.
This is 97.1's Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
On 97.1 FM Talk. Powered by Air Comfort Service.
I had a friend named Ramblin' Bob. He used to steal, gamble, and rob. He thought he was the smartest.
Welcome back
guy
to the Annie Fry
around.
Show. Happy Thursday. Thanks for spending some time with us today. Each Thursday, we have Kevin Wheeler on with us. He's a KMOX sports reporter. He joins us to give us the latest on what's going on surrounding St. Louis sports, among other things. Kevin, great to have you back on the show. Thanks for coming on.
Always glad to do it. How you guys doing?
Doing okay. I was not here last Thursday trying to beat a cold, and so I didn't get to talk to you about Nolan Arenado. But since then, we've had the addition of Yadier Molina, so at least the old gang seems to be mostly back together again. We have Nolan Arenado, and from what I understand, are the Cardinals shopping middle infielders right now as well? This is a very busy offseason for what we were told was going to be boring.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of assumed, or at least I know I did, and I think a lot of others did, assume that Yadi and Waino would be back. But I think we had set our expectations pretty low when it comes to anything of impact, right? I mean, but then again, we also didn't know that the Rockies would be willing to pay $51 million to give you Nolan Arenado.
Right.
So I think if we had known that going way back when, we probably would have been like, oh, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Of course they'll do that. But, that definitely shows how quickly things can change. I wouldn't anticipate anything big. Mo the other day during the Zoom conference, kind of making the Yachty news official, said that, they might look at something like a non-roster invitation to spring training or something along those lines, but didn't seem like he was planning anything big. And again, they also downplayed, the other things that they've done so far this offseason. So maybe just keeping it low key to avoid raising expectations.
I've been watching on YouTube just different sports reporters or baseball reporters that I've subscribed to on YouTube, and the national coverage of as well of Arenado, and just talking about the blockbuster trade that was, or signing deal that was, which is interesting to look at it outside of the context of, what tends to be a more friendly St. Louis media to what the St. Louis Cardinals are doing from time to time. But just the magnitude, the earth-shaking magnitude of that signing. And then I looked today, MLB tweeted out the baseball prospectus projected NL 2021 standings. I don't know if you saw this.
Yeah.
But they've got the Cardinals finishing third at 81 and 81. What do they know that everybody else isn't talking about right now?
Nothing.
Okay, fair.
Look, projections are interesting exercises, right? I mean, these are the annual Dakota projections that are put out by Baseball Prospectus. And then Fangraphs.com will have another one that they call the Zips projections. And they're basically like human projections in that they're right about half the time and they're wrong about half the time. I mean, and it's not that there's anything wrong with their methodology. It's just that human beings are unpredictable, right? I mean, that same projection system has the Braves as a 500 team. The Braves have been they were a 97 win team in 2019, and they won the division easy last year. It's very odd what they value and what they don't. And I think that's the hard part, where that kind of model will build in a certain amount of regression, for example, for players over age 30. Well, the Cardinals have a few of those guys, right? I mean, so they're those projections don't kind of predict one or another will have a regression. They don't project that all of them will. And it also does a poor job, and I don't think it's their fault. I just think it's the nature of the beast. They do a poor job of also accounting for defense and accounting for team depth too. And these are areas that, over the course of a 162 game season help determine who ends up winning, 81 games versus 88 or 90 games or whatever. So I wouldn't stress it too much. I mean, they get some things dead on 100% correct, and they will get some things that are dead on wrong. And I guess in that regard, because the models that they use are created like humans, they're fallible like humans.
So the Brewers finishing first, the Cubs finishing second, and the Cardinals finishing 8 games behind the Brewers in third place. What's the Wheeler projections for the 2021 standing? You don't even have to tell us if there's any science behind it. Just whatever you think.
Yeah. Well, there is some science because I like the math and I like measurables and I like looking at the kind of batted ball data or the pitch data that's out there. They'll tell you, who has the best velocity, who has the best spin rate, who hits the ball the hardest and hits the ball the hardest most often. So there's a lot of math and numbers that go into it. But a human being can also look at things like defense and depth, like I talked about a minute ago. And when I look at depth, neither the Brewers or the Cubs have anywhere near the pitching depth, especially that the Cardinals do. I mean, the Cardinals probably have today, not even counting prospects that we haven't seen yet, probably 17 major league quality pitchers. And they're only going to have a 13-man staff. So most of those teams are lucky if they have 10 or 11 legitimate major league arms. And I think that over the course of 162 games, that kind of thing matters a lot. I mean, you're not going to have a healthy rotation all year. You're not going to have everybody in your bullpen healthy. So when you do have the natural attrition that happens over 6 months, the teams with more good players tend to be able to kind of handle that. And that's one of the things that Tampa Bay's been really good about, right? I mean, people look at the Rays as an interesting model for building a team, and they've been successful. They were in the World Series last year. And a lot of it is their defense, and a lot of it is their depth. And they have quality depth all across the field. And I think the Cardinals are kind of like that. If I'm making the call today, barring injuries, and obviously not knowing, what we'll see in spring training, I'd pick the Cardinals to win the division in a very tight race, though. I mean, there's not a big separation between these teams. I think the division winner may only have 88, 89, 90 wins. Second place is probably going to be within 2 or 3 wins of that. Third place will probably be within another couple of wins of that. So I think it's a tight race between those 3 teams, and then toss in the Reds. But I still think the Cardinals have the best depth. And the thing that doesn't vary much when you're looking at performance, and it is defense. There's not a great variation from one year to the next in the quality of a defensive player, where offense can come and go. Offense can be a lot about luck, right? You can hit 10 balls hard and none of them fall for hits. You can hit no balls hard in a 10 swing sample size and get 4 bloop hits or something. Like, hitting is very unpredictable. Defense is predictable. If you're good, you're successful 98%, 99% of the time when the ball's hit at you. And I think that's going to be a stabilizing factor for them, along with the pitching staff.
Kevin Wheeler, KMOX Sports, on the phone with us. As you were talking about their pitching depth, I keep hearing rumors about Jake Odorizzi. Maybe it's just because people are fond of a hometown kid, maybe coming back home. But what do you think? Is there any place for him on this team, and is there interest?
Well, there's always a place for a proven starting pitcher. You'll always find a spot for somebody who's been in the big leagues, like Odorizzi, 6 or 7 years in the major leagues, and pretty consistent. He's pretty much the same guy year in and year out. So I think there's a lot to be said about that. His name was linked to the Cardinals through a couple of reports, one from Derek Gould, another one, I think it was from Mark Feinsand from MLB.com. But I think it's also, there's this idea of checking in on somebody versus, actually making an offer on someone. I think the Cardinals are looking around, and Mo says this all the time, right, that they like to be opportunistic. So if somebody's sitting out there right now that, you get closer to spring and they're willing to sign for a really great team-friendly deal, I think that's what they're probably looking around for. If like Jake was like, okay, I haven't had a big market this offseason. I wouldn't mind playing close to home for a year, and I'd do it for a cheap rate. I think that's where the idea where it would fit. I don't think they need another starting pitcher, but you never turn one down when you get the opportunity to get someone who's been healthy and consistent for as long as Jake's been.
So I was looking, I think it was the Arizona's Twitter account was showing the Weekend lost in that hallway saying, looking for anyone to play other than the Blues. And I laughed out loud. Watching the Blues play right now, I mean, are you feeling good about this team? Do you have question marks? There's a lot of injuries, as I understand it. And, we're specifically now still in a pandemic. Anytime you can turn on a live sporting event, I feel very present, which hasn't seemed the case for the last year. What are Blues fans getting right now with this team, and do you have high hopes for the future?
I do. I mean, they've not been good here the last 3 games. I mean, they've looked bad. All you have to do is listen to the nice thing about when you're watching the Blues if you want to know how things are going, just listen to Craig Berube, because he's not going to BS you. He's not going to tell you things are great when they're bad. And he's also not going to go over the top just to criticize the team. Like when his team is good, he'll flat out say, yeah, we're good tonight. And he's not been happy with the effort. He's not been happy with the consistency. And, you know, I guess you could say the full 200-foot game for the entire 60 minutes. But as you pointed out, they do have some guys that have been out of the lineup. Tyler Bozak is out. They still obviously don't have Vlad Tarasenko. They've had a few other, now Robert Thomas is out for the next 4 to 6 weeks with a broken thumb. So, you're missing some people that you were counting on for consistent minutes. But I don't really think that's the root of the problem. They're off right now. They're just a little off. It was a little better in the last game, but still you have a lapse or two here or there, a bad penalty here or there, a missed opportunity on a power play here or there. And if you had to pick one thing they really need to get going, it's probably the power play. I mean, they finished, I think it was third in the league in power play percentage last year. And last I checked, they were, I think, 29th out of 31 teams. So that's something that would help jumpstart you. And if you could finish off a few more of those, gives you a little bit of an advantage. But I don't think they're very far off. And I still don't think that it's a team I'm worried about. I think that what we need to see with the Blues this year is simple. Are you healthy, and are you playing well when the postseason starts? Because if those two things are both happening, they're capable of making a deep run.
Yeah, for sure. We've seen that a couple years ago. Just got to peak at the right time. Real quick before we let you go, college basketball is we have a real treat here, because if whoever your local sports team is, whether it's Mizzou or the Billikens or the Illini, you got a lot to watch right now. And we're close to March, which is one of my favorite sports times of the year. Do we know what that's going to look like? Is the NCAA tournament going to go as we expect it to go? Fans going to be able to see something that they didn't get to see last year?
It sounds like it. I mean, they're going to be playing the whole NCAA tournament in a bubble in Indianapolis. So they'll be playing, at obviously the big stadium downtown, but they'll also be playing at some of the colleges that are close to Indianapolis. And so I think it's going to be interesting to see, kind of how that works, because I'm not sure exactly what capacity that they're allowed in Indiana at this point. So you'll probably see fans, but it's not going to look like it normally would. It's going to be a little bit weird, but you think about it. Some of these teams are going to be in Indianapolis for 4 weeks. I mean, if you advance deep, you're going to be there for a while because you can't leave. Once you enter the bubble, the only time you're leaving is when you're losing. So once you're out, you get to go home. But other than that, you've got to stay there. I'm presuming they're doing classwork from there, which is not all that weird because they've all been doing remote learning for at least part of the year anyway. So it's going to be different. It's not going to have the same feel to it with full stadiums and kind of wild finishes and all that, but it sure looks like they're going to play basketball. And I know that they can't afford to miss it. I mean, like literally can't afford it, financially can't afford to miss another tournament.
Yeah, in college, you get to go to Indianapolis. In the NBA, you get to go to Disney World. Just a little bit of a difference there. I mean, Indianapolis in March versus February versus Florida, man. It is what it is. Glad they're going to be able to do it, though, and pull it off, because we need it as much as they need it, and the more sports, the better. Kevin, great to have you back. Thanks for being here. We appreciate you.
Anytime. You guys have a good weekend.
You as well. Kevin Wheeler, KMOX sports reporter, with the latest on the local sports that you want to keep up to date with. So it is becoming my greatest distraction, and I cannot wait for spring training to start and baseball, especially with this team that they're putting together. I feel like 3 weeks ago, where like they'll maybe win some games or they might get some hits. That was what we were saying.
They will score some runs.
They will score some runs.
Yeah.
Yes, that was pre-Arenado, and here we are. So there's a player to be named later in the Dexter Fowler trade to the Anaheim Angels, and I was waiting to hear that the player to be named later. I was waiting to hear whether or not there would be a universal DH for this season, because how beautiful would it be if they put in the universal DH, which is I'm not a fan of, but particularly for this season, we get Albert Pujols back. He has a place to play and be a DH, and it's just so romantic, and I love it. But they just announced
poetry.
The universal DH is not happening. So good for baseball. Sad for me. Oh, well. And I don't even know if that's a possibility. I was dreaming. It was in the realm of possibility because it existed. So looking forward to baseball, enjoying watching hockey, love watching basketball. Glad to talk to Kevin Wheeler about the whole thing. Let's take a quick break. We'll be back in just a minute with more of the show.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Fry Show.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studio. Air Comfort Service is hiring licensed journeymen. Get guaranteed hours year-round and up to $25,000 signing bonus and more. Apply online at aircomfortservice.com. That's aircomfortservice.com.
Say thank you to your home for being there for you. Start with a free estimate from your neighborhood CertaPro painters. We really understand how you feel about your home. That's why you can count on us to take care of every detail. Listening, prepping, painting. It's always worry-free with our expert painting team. Whatever project you have in mind, count on CertaPro painters doing the job beautifully. Schedule your free estimate now at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. Each CertaPro painter's business is independently owned and operated.
So forensic IT is the insurance policy basically that you need for your company, your business, big, small, enterprise, small business, mom and pop shop, whatever you have. How is the security of your information? How is the system that you're running everything on that houses, the spine of your business? Can you trust it? Do you know that it's not going to go down? If you need somebody who's going to fortify that system for you, you can use Forensic IT to be a fantastic choice for your business. And they can make sure that you are all set up to not have some sort of backup recovery disaster in your future. If you have encountered a backup discovery crisis, you can call Forensic IT and they can help you with that. Anytime you have a problem with Forensic IT, they're going to get to the root cause of what is causing that issue and make sure that they get to the very bottom of the problem so you're not going to have it again. If you have applications that are freezing up on you, if you have a virus that has gotten into your system, they can help you with all of that and make sure that your uptime at your business is up all the time. You can visit them online at forensicit.com. You can call them at 314-677-3950. That's 314-677-3950. They service both sides of the river online at forensicit.com.
Hi, I'm Ryan Kelly with HeroLoan.com. If you qualify, the VA loan program is the best option out there. You can buy a house with no money down, and you can cash out refinance up to 100% of your home's appraised value. At HeroLoan.com, we pay for your appraisal and can close your VA loan in as little as 14 days. Whether you're refinancing or buying a home, visit HeroLoan.com.
The Home Loan Expert LLC, NMLS number 1326241.
You've probably heard Tom Shane on the radio for years, but have you actually experienced a visit to Shane Company? If you're planning to pop the question on Valentine's Day, we're the destination for you. You just gotta go to the store, or you can go online to create an engagement ring that fits your budget and reflects her personal style. We're talking a massive selection of always natural, always ethically sourced diamonds, rubies, and sapphires, plus a huge assortment of ring settings in every price range. Our team of jewelry consultants will help you find exactly what you're looking for. And you can expect zero pressure because they're all non-commissioned. When you're done collaborating, her engagement ring will look spectacular, like nobody else's ring. She'll get all the compliments, you'll get all the credit. And get this, with their warranty, if anything happens to the ring, they've got you covered for life, for free. Do yourself a favor and get your engagement ring your way, only at Shane Company.
Now you have a friend in the jewelry business, Shane Company and ShaneCo.com.
Mark Cox here. I'm inviting you to join Thomas Helbig for the Protecting Your Retirement educational event. It's Tuesday, March 2nd at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30. There is limited seating, so call now, 855-755-1555. Here's Thomas with more.
Are you feeling uncertain about the economy with all the spending and job losses under this new administration? Did you know if you're 59 and a half or older, you can now roll over your 401k or company retirement plan tax-free to protect your nest egg from any future losses? Do you know how to protect your savings accounts from risk and still get higher returns than the banks are offering? If you're 59 and a half or older, you don't want to miss this special event. We have the biggest room available to keep our social distancing.
Protect your retirement nest egg. Join the official financial advisor of my show, Thomas Helbig, at the Protecting Your Retirement educational event Tuesday, March 2nd at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30. Call 855-755-1555 or go online at retirementkey.com.
The Dave Glover Show.
When I was a kid, if you walked into school with clean white shoes, you would be physically accosted by your classmates. You know, you're in Shawshank.
Weekdays at 3 on 97.1 FM Talk.
It's been a while since you treated me right. You strung me along for far too long, cause I never gave up the fight. Until now, it's gonna hit you hard till you see stars. It's gonna put you through.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Neither of you watch Yellowstone, right?
No, I don't. I'm going to, though, because you have persuaded me.
It's so good. It's so good. And we finished the last episode. So apparently it's on Paramount is where you can watch it. And apparently my husband on YouTube TV, which is the service that we use, I guess sometime in December or November, just set our YouTube TV to record it so that if there was an episode that it would record whatever. And they ran a marathon. They ran a marathon sometime around Christmas because there's a lot of Christmas ads in all the commercials. And it was I guess all day, all the episodes straight through. Maybe it was like a New Year's Eve thing. I don't know. So we watched all of them because we recorded all of them. We didn't have to actually go to Paramount to do it. But it's like my latest distraction. We watched the last episode last night and I don't know what to do with myself.
Oh, no.
I was going to watch The Mandalorian now and I feel like a traitor for doing it.
Well, you said you watched a little bit of WandaVision already. I'm addicted to that show. I didn't love the first couple episodes, but man, it got real good real fast.
Everyone said that I was reading because I get a lot of my Google stories is a curation of things I guess that I've Googled and then other things that I feel like Google really wants me to be interested in. I'm like, it's not me, it's you. Stop sending me this stuff. I'm not interested in this. But I was getting a lot of WandaVision articles, things that were like, hey, spoiler alert, blah, blah, blah. And I didn't read any of them because I knew I'd watch it eventually. And they're 30-second or 30-minute episodes. I think they're a full 30. I don't think they're like 22. 22 is what a TV show is, I guess.
Right.
They're 30-minute episodes. And we watched there's 5 out, right? We watched all 5 this weekend in one night, just back to back to back. And everybody was saying, do not make any decision about what you think about this until episode 3. Finish episode 3 before you decide you love it or hate it. Because if you love it ahead of time, things are going to change over the course of those 5 episodes. If you hate it, things are going to change over the course of those 5 episodes. So we plowed through that this weekend and we were going to do The Mandalorian this coming weekend. And now I'm done with Yellowstone and I don't know what to do with myself.
When something ends, I feel so lost. You know, like whenever like a season ends and you're like, I have been building up and watching every single episode and I fell in love with it. And now there's nothing else for a period of time. It's just like, what do you do?
Yeah. I don't know. What are you watching right now, Katie?
Oh, goodness.
You're watching podcasts while you pet Marty. I forgot.
That's what I'm doing. I don't think David and I have not been.
Just remember, Marty is her neighbor.
Marty's my neighbor. That's why I'm moving. I don't think I've watched. David and I have not watched a series in a couple of months. I don't know why that is. Just nothing has seemed appealing. But WandaVision does sound good. I did hear that it's pretty long, though. That either you're really invested or you're not. But
have you watched WandaVision?
I haven't.
It's just 5 episodes that are 30 minutes each. It's not long.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Long as in, I meant to say that either you really, really like it in the beginning or it's just dragging. Like the narrative is just dragging.
I was entertained by all of it and I was tipped off ahead of time that not to get too married to any one quirky thing. But then also so WandaVision I think goes into March, late March maybe, and then Falcon and Winter Soldier, which is the next series is going to be released, and then after that, Loki is going to be released. So, like, that's the way TV used to be, and I don't live that life anymore. I need shows that I can binge and watch at my convenience.
Yes.
When I if something's big, I never really get into it until there's 3 seasons out of it, so that I can spend, put the kids to sleep, and then we watch a couple episodes before we go to bed.
I thought I was with you. I love binging shows, but the last couple that I've watched that are releasing them week by week, I've actually really enjoyed the anticipation of looking forward to the next episode. The last time I remember doing that was with Lost when it was on TV. And then since then, I don't think I've watched TV. I've just been streaming. And I've kind of enjoyed the week by week thing.
When we watched Lost, it was when Blockbuster was doing the mail process where they'd mail you one DVD, 2 DVDs, or 3 DVDs at a time. And we were watching the Lost series that way. You could take the DVD that got mailed to you to your Blockbuster store and exchange the mailed DVD for a DVD that was live and in person in the Blockbuster store. So it was a constant flow of content. And I loved that series. And I just remember thinking, I cannot imagine giving 7 years of my life to this. Like, I cannot imagine, because, every episode they know what they're doing, makes you want, is like, it can't be over. And you're like, I can't watch another one. Well, I have to watch another one. But you know that the next one's going to end in the same cliffhanger-y kind of way. When does it stop? When does it end?
Blockbuster, Family Video, all of that is history, right? That's done. There is no.
I think they're all gone now. Yeah.
Family Video just sold a bunch of stores. I mean, do you remember the way Blockbuster smelled? I don't know what the smell was, because maybe there was like a popcorn kind of scent to it, but there wasn't. Gosh, that is something. When I think about what our kids, the next generation, gets to consume, there are just so many things that are so convenient and immediate in their lives that they don't understand the idea of waiting. And I don't like to wait now. Like, I grew up with that. I was thinking today, we ran out of milk, and I didn't know we ran out of milk right before the show. And I always eat a bowl of cereal before the show just to make sure I make it through and don't get irpy. So I just ran to Starbucks real quick, and it's so cold outside, and my Pacifica has a heated steering wheel, and I put my hands on the steering wheel. It was so warm. And I'm like, this is insane. Like, normally when I'm cold, I'm used to like putting my hands under my legs to keep them from freezing, which is not a safe way to drive or to use your knee or whatever. And
steer with your mouth.
Yeah, it's, it is what it is. But I'm like holding the steering wheel thinking, this is so first world amazing.
Yes.
It's not necessary. I could wear gloves. But it's just the modern conveniences that exist now. I don't know where we're going to be in 10 years from now, but the idea of walking through a Blockbuster store and experiencing looking at the DVDs and picking one out, hoping it's not scratched when you get home. Our kids have 4 streaming services that they can choose from. Any kind of, like, they have the entire Disney library, at least for the time being, at their fingertips, and they can watch anything. Gosh. Does that make us better? Does that make us better? I mean, I like the convenience, but growing up that way,
I wouldn't trade it. I mean,
I wouldn't trade it.
I don't think anybody would trade the conveniences, but you do have nostalgia for what it was.
Man, kids are never going to know what it's like to want. DGS coming up next. Don't go away.
Hi, I'm Tom Connors. Went to Mark Patrick's hypnosis seminar February 6th.